Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have finally been able to remake the game. We're going to start this series anew, and because of that, we've actually experienced a live chrono break. It is not what you may think. It is not 8:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have actually gone back in time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as it is the start of the series. Actually, that's not what has happened. I would like to believe that fantasy, but McBree, just break it down. Why did we remake in the first place?
Well, we do see that Illumination has a e-sub. They have picked up Lunar Del Rey. This was originally meaning that they had to lose 4 bands. Also, we did have to start at 7:30, so some 4 bands being lost for Illumination, but some of the miscommunication between player, admin, and some of the staff here, I think we weren't able to accurately pin down whether or not they were supposed to lose 4 bands, and in the end we ended up going up with 0 bands being lost for the side of Illumination. There was some kerfuffle around that. Rawr did have some things to say about that, but all in all, we ended up going into the game, all 5 bands for both teams. To be honest though, Rawr was probably really hoping for a remake because they were kind of getting stomped in the game before, but now that they are able to, utilize bands being kind of taken away from them, and they are able to keep their champion pools open, except for one champion being basically taken away. Rawr is hoping to, kind of maybe do a little bit of a mental reset and come back into this game looking like the 5th seed and, trying to come in as those people who did get out of quarterfinals.
Right. And no matter which way you look at it, whether you are sympathetic towards the side of Rawr, or sympathetic towards the side of Illumination Empire, or sympathetic towards the staff who were given wrong information and therefore allowed the game to continue before realizing what the situation actually was, you cannot deny the fact that after getting stomped in what is now basically regarded as a practice scrim, it hugely benefits the side of Rawr because now they realize with this sub, Lunar Del Rey is a force to be reckoned with. And with that being said, they already banned the Olaf, respecting how much early pressure he was putting down. But not only that, Rawr had a very late game oriented draft, thinking that they were going to be able to get through the early game without any problems. They realized that was not the case. And now we already see the change coming out for the side of Rawr, already drafting a lane bully in Cleaver Masters Darius, and Change picking up that Nocturne in the jungle to answer Lunar Del Rey's Kindred pick.
The Kindred pick is obviously trying to take it away from Change. Change has obviously shown some great play on the champion, and being able to take it away now actually ends up making the draft for Illumination just a little bit different. Obviously, we now see the Kindred and the Camille being picked up. I do like this Darius matchup, and picking up something like Nocturne changes it's really hard to say his name with Change, but definitely makes the early game a lot more different. You're not playing something like a Sejuani who's trying to get to that scaling part of the game. Hopefully Nocturne, once he hits level 6, boom, you hit the paranoia, you hit him with the fear, and you just completely annihilate any kind of lane. Kaisa into Nocturne, that is a definite oof pick right there. That Kaisa is going to be definitely living under turret, hoping for some stopwatch action and not wanting to get dived early.
Yeah, hopefully they can get a great support matchup for the side of Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose. Definitely assist in being able to survive in that lane, as Aquatic Dark, instead of going for the late game scaling Victor, is now going for the Yasuo instead. I believe that was one of the bans that Illumination Empire had in the scrim game that we did witness before the actual start of the series. And now that Aquatic Dark has this Yasuo, his laning phase and his agency in the game is going to be much higher for the side of Rawr.
Yeah, he didn't end up picking in that first game. He didn't end up picking their mid lane until the second rounds of picks for the side of Rawr. And getting Aquatic Dark, this Yasuo is pretty significant. It is one of his main champions alongside that Cassiopeia, which also was banned in the second ban phase for Illumination. Taking away such strong power picks. But now Rawr, on this Aquatic Dark, he's able to get this Yasuo, which is going to be a huge lane bully depending on the matchup that we will see. They are up banning the Echo and the Braum, which we did see Poison Rose use to really great effect using the concussive blows and able to get some early pressure in the jungle, even in that level 1. I'm very interested to see how this level 1 is going to go now, considering they don't have as much of an early game jungler and early game comp. So, the Teemo ban! The Teemo!
Wow, that's absolute... Man, so, this was not shown on stream, guys, but I believe it would be only just and fair to inform you of the bantering. It was actually getting beyond bantering. I think it was actually not death comments, but it was quite strong words being thrown, mainly Luna Del Rey, towards the side of Rawr in response to having to remake the game after 21 minutes, as doesn't really know what the rule set is, and he just came on request of Illumination Empire to help him out, and now feels that he was punished. And there was some fighting words coming out from him regarding the need for a remake, and he did say, if I quote, "If you really need the 4 bans to hide your weaknesses, then I'll let you guys have your 4 bans." And they even elected with the Teemo ban as well, just showing that they can have all the comfort champions that Rawr needs, and Luna Del Rey will still smash in this game.
Especially after that first game, I mean, I would definitely have that kind of confidence. That first game was disgusting for the side of Illumination. But, I mean, again, Luna Del Rey should have maybe picked up the Scion, considering he's calling all these people cowards. It's pretty funny, but... Alright, so just looking at the game, they do end up taking the Morgana this time for Poison Rose. I do love Rawr's pickup for bot side, which is Rakan and Xayah, giving you a great duo lane and able to take over this lane against the Kai'Sa, who traditionally has a pretty weak laning phase. So now this allows Rawr to have some winning lanes. I mean, we see the Xayah Rakan, Galio into Yasuo should be a pretty even lane. Yasuo's going to have to be really careful of the taunt area of effect. The Darius also being picked up pretty early on in the draft. I think it was first pick. Against something like a Camille is definitely a skill matchup. Darius should have a little bit of an edge there using his bleed passive and the decimate, but this is looking a lot more promising for Rawr in terms of draft.
Yeah, definitely a lot more early pressure, as you put it, McBree, for the side of Rawr, not scaling lanes that would get run over by Illumination Empire's composition here. Now, one thing I do want to point out that I think is really interesting and very useful for Luna Del Rey is, as opposed to last game, where they just kind of had straight up winning lane in Aatrox for the top lane for You Are Being Muted, and then just a couple scaling lanes in the Kassadin and then the Ashe Braum, you actually have pretty nice setup for Luna Del Rey's Kindred here in the top lane and in the mid lane, and then to some extent the bot lane, if Poison Rose can land a crucial Dark Binding or get a Soul Shackles engage going down for his team. As Camille, even though this is a skill matchup against Cleaver Master's Darius, you have to dodge the Decimate outer ring portion to not give him the heal portion. You can set up ganks super easily with the hook shot, with the Hextech Ultimatum, and then Luna Del Rey can bring the rest of the damage, as well as Kindred is just one of those junglers right now that just can really pack a punch no matter what time of the game it is, unless he falls behind, right? And it's the same thing with Sail on this mid lane Galio. He has the AoE taunt that's really easy to set up with, especially with the flash. The Justice Punch can get the knock up onto Yasuo as well. I mean, it's just this composition, even though it's not as stylish and flashy as it was in the first game, when we saw Aatrox pop, or You're Being Muted propping off on the Aatrox, I do like that they're even playing more around Luna Del Rey, putting a lot of faith in him to actually carry this game, going from the Olaf who just kind of snowballs in the early game and then that's just it. Now, when you're picking Kindred, all eyes are pretty much on you.
Yeah, definitely, and with the Kindred, you're able to go into the enemy jungle, get some invades off, and Galio should be able to use the Winds of War on his Q, get some of that lane pressure, push out the lane, move over, and provide a lot of gank assist, especially being able to use his ultimate. That kind of stuff is going to be super impactful for these roaming lanes. I am worried about their ultimate usage and how they're going to be able to get around how exactly that is going to interact. I mean, Kindred is able to put down the ultimate to save a lot of teammates. Camille can even come in with the Hextech protocol and basically push everybody except one person out of the ultimate, out of the Kindred's Lamb's Respite. And Galio is another person who wants people to be locked into a certain area. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to be able to synergize using their ultimates in these team fights, at least.
Yeah, the amount of crowd control that is on the side of Illumination Empire kind of eclipses the amount that you have. Oh,
already a pause. Sale left. Sale's like, hey, dude, I'm playing Galio Snooze. I'm just gonna dig you. It's not worth playing this one out. I literally had a carry performance this last game. Like, it's not worth. Something I didn't bring up is Rawr, and they have a lot of area of effect abilities. I mean, if we just look, Claver Master is looking to get that Decimate Q, a lot of the axe swings, which are going to be looking to be in a pretty big circle around him, which, I mean, if we just look, I mean, Galio's looking to try and create a lot of space. Morgana is trying to trap a lot of these people, but if everyone is stuck in a really small corridor, I mean, Darius is going to be able to get a lot of bleed stacks down. Itchy Rat on this Rakan could get a very great use of the swiftness and a knock-up even to get Aquatic Dark into fights and able to use that last breath. Gandhi is going to be able to also use the feathers, do a lot of the feather pulls, and maybe even get a lot of CC down onto the rest of the team. Change is obviously looking to try and disorient the rest of the team, and with Darkness having no vision, it's a great counter into the Galio. The Galio can't use ultimate if he can't see who he's using it on. So
yeah, we've seen in the olden days how Nocturne was an answer to Twisted Fate, when Twisted Fate was that first pick or ban status back in the likes of Season 3, as he had actually 5-man evade onto Cleaver Master, and now he's getting the treatment that Itchy Rose or Itchy Rat got last game, and he's already going to have to burn the flash. So already Cleaver Master, once again, down an advantage, as without that flash, it's going to make Lunardale Rice's life much easier in terms of ganking.
Yeah, I mean, with no flash on the Darius, you're definitely looking to trying to abuse this matchup. One thing to note, however, is that You're Being Muted did have to start Hookshot on this one, so interested to see how that is going to end up affecting this laning phase for him, as he's not going to have something like the tactical sweep to try and poke out. He does have the Arcane Comet, so definitely looking for that lane advantage. And look at that, the very great work from Rawr already. They're able to see that Lunar Del Rey is starting on this bot side. Gives them a lot of information. They would have maybe thought he had started up there. They also ward their red buff thinking that maybe they might move over, but now that they have information on Lunar, this could change some of the gank paths and maybe even how some of the laners play it out.
Yeah, this is really great, especially for the likes of Change on this Nocturne, as at that level 6 mark, he has a lot of agency, of course, with the Paranoia being able to go in for an all-in. Oh, that is a huge amount of burst onto Bronze Gatekeeper. Already first in the flash. Ignite has been traded from Itchy Rat, and that's Saya Rakan for you. You cannot disrespect that level 1 all-in.
Yeah, that was huge, and Kaisa obviously has a very weak laning phase, so being able to utilize this level 1, not yet level 2, advantage that they're going to have in this lane is going to be super, impactful to how this ends up playing out. Lunar Del Rey does end up getting the Scuttle in the top side. Change to end up taking. Sale
has the flash here, or otherwise he's going to die to Aquatic Dark. Does flash that last Steel Tempest, as the exhaust came down and provided Aquatic enough time to be able to close the gap once he went in. But honestly, it started because Sale just went in aggressively with that Justice Punch.
Yeah, no, Change.
Oh, but Change is level 2 versus level 3. Lunar Del Rey, he had the advantage from mid lane, but you do not want to invade onto a Kindred that blindly. And now Bronze Gatekeeper is getting all in again. He still has the heal, and the exhaust will come down onto Gandhi Donut. And now things are just much more. Oh, it didn't spot him! Change is going to get thought out, and with the flash down, it's going to be Lunar Del Rey picking up the first blood. Just one more auto. There it is! The fighting words has been promised by Lunar Del Rey as he secures that first kill of the game.
Change is really suffering. First of all, I want to give it up to Change. I mean, obviously that was a super aggressive play. He wasn't able to get his mid laner to move. Oh, so close there for Bronze Gatekeeper. That flash over the wall, that is almost pixel perfect. That wall is mega chunky. I'm surprised he made it, but great job for him. This does mean that now Lunar Del Rey does have 2 stacks of the Kindred passive, so he's already trying to get up to that 4th mark where you do get some more attack range. They're going to deny him this scuttle down bot side, but Change is just so far back. I mean, he did go for a modified clear, went for blue. He went to go move towards scuttle, but I think he then ended up moving towards the red buff in the end. And Lunar Del Rey again putting on a great performance early on in this game.
Oh, I mean, great stuff from Lunar Del Rey, but also really questionable stuff from Change. I mean, that's. I understand that you're now on a more aggressive, high damage oriented jungler, but you have to understand the matchup of that you're playing against and cannot disrespect. Maybe you just had wrong information about where Lunar Del Rey's pathing was going to be. They had the early wards down, and so when I wanted to discuss with you how when, as a Nocturne player in this matchup, when you have that early vision, you can definitely orient yourself in a safer pathing just for that early level 6 power farm. But when you do stuff like that, I mean, that's going to delay you heavily.
Yep, and just have to use a flash there. Great job, great patience there to wait it out and see maybe if there was going to be a gank. This would be a very big wave crashing onto the turret. Cleaver Master.
Arcane comment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're playing this Nocturne, though, you're not. I mean, you do have some skirmishing potential with the lethal tempo, and a lot of that damage you're able to get down. But against Kindred, especially when she's already level 3 and you're level 2, you're going to be hurting so much, both with the slow and the constant dancing arrows. She's able to outmaneuver you in a lot of situations. You're just wanting to farm to get to level 6. You're just hoping, all right, guys, I'm off the map until level 6 unless there's a really niche situation where maybe I can get this kill, or, you know, a lot of pressure onto the map. You're waiting until you can get level 6, get that paranoia, and completely lock Lunar out of this map.
Ooh, nice dark binding from Poison Rose, being able to lock down Gandhi Donut and stop the all-in engage potential coming out from the side of Itchy Rat and Gandhi here, as Bronze Gatekeeper was also able to sidestep that grand entrance. That first all-in, level 1, was pretty scary, but it looks like Gatekeeper and Poison Rose are starting to get a grasp on this lane as they have now equalized the CS lead.
Yeah, Gandhi was a bit far back, was Itchy Rat did go in, and obviously Gandhi was, you know, rooted at the time. He was hit up with the binding from Morgana. Looks like we might see an invade for some Raptors here.
Oh, they cut off Aquatic Dark. They knew exactly where he was going, and the exhaust has to be forced out. Meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose are trying to get out of here. Poison Rose has the flash, but it's not going to be in time. The last auto connects. Meanwhile, the last breath is going to come in, and they do have Cleaver Master here for the roam, and with the dunk, that's going to be 2 more kills going out to the side of Rawr. And just like that, the early game tempo established by Lunar Del Rey falls to the side of Rawr.
Yeah, that was a great early kill from Gandhi and from Itchy Rat, trying to just get those last feathers before trying to get the root. Didn't end up getting it, but was able to trade flash for a kill. Great job from them. And then in this mid lane, You're Being Muted had to catch a pretty big wave that was being thrown into his turret, and with no vision in the top side, only 2 wards being put down from Cleaver Master, 0 on the side of Illumination, they were able to get so much great flash.
Oh man, and that does clip Bronze Gatekeeper there, and Gandhi Donut picks up his 2nd kill of the game. He's not on the Vayne this time, he's on the Xayah, and now he's in a much better spot.
Yeah, he's saying, hey, look, I wasn't playing Vayne this time, but with Kaisa being called Vayne 2.0, let me show you some real Vayne spotting. That was a great job from him, and an amazing, engagement there from Itchy Rat, just recognizing that he can flash engage just like that and immediately kill. Doesn't obviously have the level 6, but just a great fight there. And something to note, though, that Sale did have level 6, did have the Hero's Entrance, could have maybe saved Lunar Del Rey and maybe turn that fight, but again, You're Being Muted had to catch his top wave, couldn't really do much, and an amazing last breath landing on a level 4 Kindred. I mean, you're obviously not building too many resistances. Ooh.
I mean, he has the hook shot. He needs to get out, but he doesn't. But miscommunication as well. That's going to cause Sale to burn the heroic entrance. And meanwhile, Lunar Del Rey, he was trying to solo the dragon down. And can he just get it? He will be able to get the air dragon here, but can he live? He does have actually Lance Spine. They might be able to turn this around. Bronze Gaper, however, does not have the killer instinct. And Gandhi Donut is just 1v2ing. He's going to throw out the Feather Storm, and it's just going to force the flash from Bronze Gatekeeper, as the threat of a possible Blade Caller could have been death for him, and also forcing the flash from Luna Del Rey, as Aquatic Dark was able to roam down to the Dragon Pit and not allow him to get away without burning that Summoner spell.
Super clutch right there. Great job from the side of Rawr, noticing and taking a lot of advantage here from Aquatic Dark on this Yasuo. He's able to get so much lane pressure. Obviously, Sale wasn't in mid lane, so having to use the hero's entrance onto Camille there. You are being muted up in the top side, and a little bit of miscommunication there of the ultimate. A flash swiftness there. Not a flash, sorry, but swiftness, but ooh.
Itchy Rat. I mean, I do respect the confidence. They already are ahead 2 kills onto the Xayah, and they just want to push this lead even further, and especially with the flash being burned for Bronze Gatekeeper. Unless Poison Rose can get a perfect Black Shield timing, that quickness Grand Entrance engage is pretty hard to predict when it's going to come out, but unfortunately it does miss. It's going to give some relief to the side of Bronze and Poison Rose here.
Yes, I mean, the idea from Lunar Del Rey there. Ooh, Aquatic Dark off this mid lane fight.
Does proc the last breath with the Aftershock is going to give him a little bit of armor and MR to be able to fight back against Aquatic Dark. Meanwhile, in the top lane, he's building some stacks here, and he's going to get the hook shot out to disengage the fight. And this is actually looking pretty scary for You Are Being Muted. You talked about this in the pre.
Yeah, and he's getting Trinity Force, boys. So this is looking like a ton of damage coming out on the top side. I do want to come back to this Cloud Drake, because this does give them some rotation power. It does give Lunar Del Rey an ability to move around the map just a little bit faster, and might see even a top gank here now.
Oh, there we go, and You Are Being Muted with the... We talked about this in Champ Select. The gank setup for Lunar Del Rey is so damn easy with Hookshot into Hextech Ultimatum. There's nowhere that Cleaver Master can go, even if he does have the flash, as you cannot flash out of that trap.
Yeah. Pretty great gank there. I mean, some simple stuff there, and didn't land the hookshot, but using the Hextech Protocol to try and stop him from moving. Or, sorry, Hextech Ultimatum, that's what it is. And, just keeping him trapped in there. Great gank. And, I mean, if we look at Lunar Del Rey, he's not that far behind. He's actually pretty far ahead of Change right now. Is 1-1-1, just like Change. Change is now on this bot side. It's going to get spotted out from a pink ward, but they are about even. If I check gold real quick, they should be pretty holy. It is. It's X. There it is. Lunar Del Rey is 500 gold ahead already. Change doesn't have the Warrior enchant, and now they're going to go for the bot side.
Change might be able to equalize that gold lead, as both of the bot laners have evaporated, but Cleaver Master getting the 1-2 return treatment, as unfortunately, because of the change roam to the bot side with Paranoia, they're going to be able to take that first brick before Lunar Del Rey and Rawr being able to get a chance to even touch the turret. So first brick turret gold does go over to the side of Rawr. That's going to be instrumental for now Gandhi Donut on this Xayah, who is 3-0-1 with the Storm Razor already completed, while Bronze Gatekeeper is just barely finishing his tier 2 boots.
That is super huge, and that's obviously what you want to do on this Nocturne. You want to be able to abuse these matchups. I mean, Gandhi Donut was already building a lead alongside Itchy Rat against Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose here, and with that gank now solidifying them getting the turret, they are able to trade this top lane turret. Thankfully, trying to get whatever you guys can, but I really do like this pick early on from Nocturne onto against this Galio. I mean, it stops the Galio engagements, and it stops them from being able to effectively use the hero's entrance.
Well, the thing we have to question is that it is an early pick Nocturne, but it was Sale picking the Galio into this composition, so clearly there wasn't really any thought putting into the possible counter engage from Paranoia. And we're already seeing Itchy Rat and Gandhi Donut rotating to the top side of the map. Meanwhile, Last Breath is going to come in, but realizes that he needs to get the hell out of there, and Sale's going to flash in as well. It looks like Aquatic Dark will finally go down with that press the attack. Holy moly, just unfortunate circumstances right there.
Yeah, didn't have vision of either side's Doesn't have there's not a lot of vision across the map in general. There is obviously the one pink ward down bot side. There's a lot of wards being invested towards top side for Cleaver Master, but just in general, a lot more of this vision is for the side of Illumination. Wasn't able to see what was happening, had to blow both of his summons, Sail blowing the flash to end up getting the kill as well. Or not getting the kill, but Lunar Del Rey and Poison Rose able to come into the mid lane and help, but Gandhi and Itchy Rat are able to just move around the map so fast right now and get so much pressure just across every lane, pick up a lot of the CS that maybe some of the teammates aren't picking up, and he is about 40 CS up right now on Bronze Gatekeeper, which is pretty hard right now.
You know, during that first game that was remade, McBree, and before that game started, you were telling me how Gandhi Donut, if he gets a scaling hyper carry, I mean, you might as well call him, all right, GG, let's just go next. Like, as soon as that comes out in draft phase, I mean, then he locked in the Vayne blind pick, and I was like, wow, this is kind of a stretch, and got absolutely blasted. And so I was thinking, maybe this is kind of a meme. Maybe McBree was stretching a little bit too far. But in the likes of Xayah, I mean, 3-0-1, yes, he was assisted by Itchy Rat's great engages and the confidence coming out, but the follow-up was crystal clear, and the 1v2 situation forcing Bronze Gatekeeper to flash, going aggressively with that Featherstorm rather than an escape tool. I mean, it's been working out so well, and oh man, good night. Lights have gone out for the side of Bronze Gatekeeper, and it looks like the rest of the team has tried to collapse. I'm not sure if this is going to be really instrumental, but that's a lot of damage, Soul Shackles, but he popped Lamb's Respite so early! He's actually trying to get Hero's Entrance, but it's not going to come in time as Lamb's Respite has ticked the clock down, but Sail will be able to pick up a double kill as Aquatic Dart is now going to be able to pick up Poison Rose here, and Sail cannot do that much to an 80 carry. That is 5-0 and 3 as he gets the shutdown kill onto Sail. Gandhi Donut just popping the hell off on this Xayah.
Yeah, that is a huge amount of kills right there. Bronze Gatekeeper just barely missing the Prey Seeker there. Wasn't able to get vision of Gandhi and Itchy Rat in the Tri-Bush, and eventually does get up engaged upon. Doesn't use the Killer Instinct, but does blow the Flash, which is a pretty huge summoner spell there on the Kaisa. You're already super behind your 0-3-0, your 90 CS at about 15 minutes. You're about to lose your mid lane turret. It is looking very dire right now for Illumination. Definitely something that we would have not thought about in that first game that had to be remade. But Gandhi Donut, I love the rotations from the side of Rawr with Gandhi. I mean, they've moved him from bot all the way to top lane, caught some waves, did some turret damage, moved him down to mid lane, and then Itchy Rat and Gandhi are just working so well together to get these engages and put down Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose. They're looking for like this kind of poke lane with the Kaisa and Morgana, but being engaged upon almost instantaneously makes it really hard to figure out who needs the Black Shield. Obviously, you want to give it to your 80 carry, but at that point, you just kind of get engaged upon and you almost die almost instantaneously unless you're able to turn it. And without extended trades going on, and I mean already with an advantage being built in terms of items and damage, Gandhi's already 2 items up, and Bronze Gatekeeper's looking for a full item right now other than the boots that he's got.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, no offense to Bronze Gatekeeper, but like you said, I mean, he hasn't completed his first item yet. Gandhi Donut has now completed his rapid fire cannon, so he's almost 2 full items up on his counterpart. At this point, Poison Rose should just be supporting the marksman that's actually doing well, which is Lunar Del Rey. I mean, that's why you have a double marksman composition. You allow Lunar Del Rey to be the marksman that you rely on in the early game, and then Bronze Gatekeeper can farm up. Even if he is behind, you still have a win condition with this Kaisa if you get post 25 minutes, 30 minutes, as long as he's farming appropriately. He is down a lot of CS, but that is something you can build to. I mean, unfortunately, the only thing that is going against Illumination's favor in being able to stall out is honestly their lack of wave clear. If you look, I mean, you have Tiamat on you are being muted because it is necessary in order to even push back how easy it is for Cleaver Master to just shove wave with Decimate. And then Lunar Del Rey, even though he's a high damage jungler, doesn't really have that much wave clear unless he opts into Runon's Hurricane. And Sail Winds of War, I mean, Gallia received so many nerfs in the past to deal with the problem of his just being able to perma-shove brainlessly and then look for those roams with the heroic entrance.
Yeah, just a lot of CS being given up in general, and it doesn't allow them to complete a lot of items. Obviously, Lunar Del Rey is probably doing the best right now, but if we look at just gold right now, Bronze Gatekeeper is about 4k down on Gandhi, and obviously the gold match, the gold right now is 3k in advantage of Rawr, but TP here from Cleaver Master does get interrupted.
Oh man, I wonder where he was TPing to, but You're Being Muted might have the advantage, but he does have to respect the stacks coming down from Cleaver Master. He's going to pop the Hex Cycle Ultimatum. Can he get enough damage before the true damage comes out? And he does! Cleaver Master did not pop the dunk in time, and what a beautiful outplay coming in from You Are Being Muted. Definitely needed for the side of Illumination. And now Sale looking for another engage potential is now the Paranoia is going to come in, is going to look for Bronze Gatekeeper. Heroic Entrance will be able to provide a little bit of damage reduction, but the knockup with the last breath. Lunar Del Rey finally pops the Lambert Spike, but the fight is going to be lost here unless they can turn it around. Lunar Del Rey flashes, but it gets followed by Gandhi Donut's own flash, and Poison Rose is gonna have to scram along with Sale as the rest of the members. Meanwhile, You're Being Muted actually comes in. He picks up Itchy Rose, or Itchy Rat here, but he's not the carry you need to worry about. He's just a support, and You're Being Muted finally realizes his own mistake, and he gets shut down, giving the gold over to Aquatic Dark.
Super even fight there, so close, and I love the aggression from You're Being Muted, but again, you're gonna be outscaled there. Poison Rose coming in to maybe give him a black shield, but ends up getting a coffin instead. Not looking too amazing there, but you know, You're Being Muted trying to equalize what he can when it comes to the fight, and that wasn't actually as bad as a fight as it possibly could have. Obviously, a lot of your teammates do get wiped there. Something, I mean, positive to look towards was that fight was actually pretty even for the most part. I think, again, if they did have items, if Illumination were able to scale just a little bit longer, if they were given maybe another 5 to 10 minutes to pick up CS, pick up some more items, they could definitely contest in these team fights. Like, that fight was, again, while Gandhi is putting down a lot of damage and Change putting down some more, You Are Being Muted does have this advantage up on the top side on this Camille, is able to put down Cleaver Master. We saw in that 1v1, and Sale was able to eventually get the hero's entrance during the Nocturne Fear. He just got close enough where he's able to see his ally. I think the Lancer Spike came down a little bit too late from Lunar, being a little bit greedy with that and not providing for the rest of his team to get the invulnerability from death. But these team fights are coming super, super close, and I think with a couple more margins and a couple more levers being shifted, I do think that Illumination can come back.
Oh man, I don't know if there's going to be a comeback potential if Lunar Del Rey just gets picked off like that. The person with practically the most gold on his team is now going to be down for another 25 seconds here, and it's going to allow Rawr to be able to push in this top lane.
Caster Curse. Caster Curse. I started praising them, and then that just happens.
Unlucky.
That is a lot of damage going down, and obviously with him now again off the map change, it does have his the Dusk Blade. He also has his Warrior enchantment, so he's doing a lot of damage, especially once he comes out of the Paranoia just automatically. And Lunar Del Rey, the Black Cleaver, I do understand you are trying to pick it up against something like a Darius, but when you're playing, I mean, you're looking to try and, alright, so for the Black Cleaver, sorry, I'm just trying to think, because usually you want to take Black Cleaver into more of the tank bruiser matchups, but you're really only looking at Cleaver Master being that tanky bruiser. You might also be looking to pick up Black Cleaver maybe to try and enable Bronze Gatekeeper to do just a little bit more damage. Again, he is down about 4,000 gold, and with that kind of thing, You're Being Muted taking a trade, but with the Black Cleaver stacks. Hook shot.
The hook shot, but he has the Hexa Ultimatum, and that's going to be a little bit more bonus damage. Just one more auto should be able to do it, but he doesn't get enough damage to finish off Cleaver Master, and he has to respect the all-in potential back with the true damage coming in from the ultimate, and now Aquatic Dark is here. It looks like it's going to be lights out for You Are Being Muted unless he can get the hook shot away. Aquatic Dark does not have flash, does not hit the Steel Tempest. If he can just get in range and hit the exhaust slow, then maybe he can get out, but hook shot cooldown should be coming up in a little bit, and he still has it. He's just looking for an opportune time, and he's actually bought enough time for his team to start the Baron, but Paranoia's going to come down to Heroic Entrance, just pop the Lancer Spike. He doesn't even get a chance. He was feared, and the CC is just too much for the side of Illumination Empire. They do get the shutdown onto Change, but it doesn't matter as Gandhi Donut, the real carry, is still alive. 10-0 and 3 on this Xayah, and they're going to be trying to Baron down this Baron.
Yeah, they say thank you for giving us a team fight that we wanted there. I mean, you get the ultimate, they start off the Baron, they're taking a lot of damage from Baron just in general, and Change is able to come in, immediately blow up Lunar Del Rey. The Lambs fight does have a cast time, just a little bit of a cast time, so any kind of CC is going to stop you from putting that down.
Oh, the last breath comes in, the throw shield for Aquatic Dark does save him from the jaws of death. You are being muted. Unfortunately, couldn't have that final last auto damage for the finishing blow on Aquatic Dark. He gets the outplay.
Yeah, Aquatic Dark showing such mastery on this champion, really just pushing the edge on here right now. He does have the Bork, which allows him to trade alongside his Phantom Dancer, so just small things that, sometimes champion mastery does come into play here, and Aquatic Dark putting about 400 games just this season. I think it's 350, but definitely a lot of mastery on this champion.
Yeah, when you put so much time onto a champion like Yasuo, it is definitely one of the more rewarding experiences as everything just becomes muscle memory to you, and all the numbers, all the damage outputs, the situations and the scenarios, you become familiar with 1v1s like this, and it's just, you're absolutely right. It clearly showed in that duel with You Are Being Muted.
Yeah, I'm just worried that this might be getting. I think it's definitely a lot of out of hand right now for Rawr or for Illumination. I think their destiny for right now is looking a little bit out of their fate. They're looking for a lot of mistakes coming out from Rawr when it comes to teamfight or maybe even positioning around the map. Your Being Muted is still putting up a pretty valiant effort against this top lane matchup, but with a Baron on the side of Rawr and with such a huge lead for Gandhi right now, being 10-0, being 40 CS or so up on Bronze Gatekeeper, it's looking really rough, and an almost 10k gold lead, almost 10k gold lead, another turret going down in top side, no outer turrets for the side of Illumination. I mean,
they want to force something here because You're Being Muted actually just flashes in on Aquatic Dark. Can they get the damage down? And Killer Instinct is just going to go into the backline. 80 carries are basically trading places at this point. They did take down the mid laner, but they already lost the jungler, the bot lane, and the top lane. And Sail is just going to go down. Is this going to be the pentakill? No! That itchy rat does not give his 80 carry the...
Oh no!
You know what? You didn't earn it. If you couldn't kill support who has no damage, you didn't earn the pentakill. I'm just gonna put that right there.
Gandhi probably hoping he could have gone 15-0-4 and not, or 15-0-3 instead of 14-0-4. But a dominant game from Rawr. This is probably going to be the end there, and that last team fight was a very big mess. I mean, we saw Sail and You're Being Muted going pretty far back into the back of the team fight, but Change just immediately blowing up the backside. Wait a minute.
Lunar Del Rey just absolutely evaporated. There's just no point anymore. Almost 15k gold down against the side of Rawr. And after a pretty shaky scrim game, they're able to take game one.
That was a super dominant game from the side of Rawr, and especially Change. I mean, we did see some mishaps in the early part of that, but like we saw him last game in the in the game that we did have to remake. He did he was very much a non-influence on the map, being pretty far behind just from the get-go. And with this, I mean, this definitely shows that he can carry once he gets onto those disgusting assassin picks. I mean, that was an amazing game on Nocturne, able to completely destroy the side lanes. And I mean, Lunar Del Rey, I mean, he did talk some smack, but it looks like it did backfire a lot there.
Oh, that's always one of those yikes moments where you talk the trash and you talk the talk, but then you cannot follow through with the actual bite.
No one should be able to get away with calling TSM boosted, so that was definitely a great performance from the side of Rawr. And Itchy Rat, a very great performance on this Rakan with those engages on the bot side, and just Gani Donan and Itchy Rat just in general.
Jesus. Well, with the end of game one, we're going to give teams, and of course, me and my Mr. McCree, man,
all yours, man. You're good.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, as that was an insane way to start off the series for Rawr here. And if they can get this second win as easily as they did the first game, then we're going to have ourselves a clean sweep 2-0. But we also have to keep our eyes peeled to Illumination Empire. Now that their fires have been fueled, by losing this first game after having a dominant scrim game right before the series. We're going to see if they can bring it back for a third game. Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now getting into the second game of the series between Illumination Empire and Rawr. But before we go into pick a band phase, we actually want to take a quick look at the post-game statistics. Wow, I completely butchered that word. You know
Nice
what?
one, nice one.
Thank you. You know what, McBree, just take it over for me, my friend.
All right, this is the post-game statistics. We see a loss over for the side of Illumination Empire. It is a Rawr victory here in this first game of the series. 26-minute game, 2 dragons being given over to Rawr. And for anyone that did miss it, Illumination, they did have some early game displays of strength. Lunar Del Rey was able to pick up some kills onto Change, and the top lane Darius matchup was looking a pretty one-sided for Illumination, and it pretty much stayed that way for most of the game. But as the game went on, Change was able to get level 6 on this Nocturne and completely dominated this bot lane. I mean, Gandhi and Ichi had already gotten advantages down there, and with him going down there, with Change also going down there, it just Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose just got immediately blasted out of that lane, and a great kind of counter against this Galio. Wasn't able to use the Hero's Entrance at all this entire game. So
yeah, and just I don't know if you already pointed it out, McBree, but the Kaisa damage, I just feel so bad for Bronze Gatekeeper. I mean, he was direst that game. He didn't get to play the game.
He literally was on like support duty, even though he's playing the Kaisa. Wasn't able to do a lot in that matchup, especially with Gandhi Dona going 14-0-4 on this Xayah. It was a disgusting matchup. Ichi Rad and Gandhi showing such proficiency on the bot lane lovers duo. It was pretty one-sided, and again, we are going to be going forward with a 4-ban loss for the side of Illumination every single game. So the rest of this series, the next 2 games, if we do end up going to the next 2, is going to be super in favor of Rawr for draft. So if they're not able to, get a really strong draft, I'm definitely throwing some question mark pings. They're not able to get at least 1 or 2 winning matchups.
Yeah. I mean, this would be quite the anime redemption arc for Illumination if they can actually manage to not only win this game, bring it back for a game 3, and then win that preceding game as well, all with a loss of 4 bans. I mean, now, because we can clearly see some of the comfort and the power picks on the side of Rawr, that Aquatic Dark's Yasuo, and of course, Gandhi Donut's Xayah. I mean, those 2 picks in particular were instrumental in snowballing the bottom side of the map. I mean, we even saw Luna Del Rey have a not huge advantage early on, but it was quite an advantage after spawning Change, invading recklessly on his side of the jungle, and then chasing him into his own jungle, getting that first blood. And they could have set up something to snowball on the top side of the map through You Are Being Muted, much similar to the remade game. But then, out of nowhere, the bot lane from Rawr just catapulted. And Change just being able to recognize the advantage right there, push that even further with the Paranoia dive onto Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose, and then from there it was history.
It was a pretty clean game for the most part. I think a lot of the strength from Rawr ended up being that they had a lot of pushing waves and they were able to rotate a lot. I mean, mid lane was going pretty even for Aquatic Dark and Sail on this Galio, and it was doing not as poorly as the rest of the other lanes. But as soon as Cleaver Master was able to roam down and start putting down a lot of pressure both onto Lunar Del Rey and Sail, it just kind of blew up a lot of the map. They were able to rotate Gandhi, Donut, and Ichi Rat out of that already had 1 lane, out of that first turret that they had taken, and they were able to rotate them across the map onto top lane, go down to mid lane, put down a whole lot of pressure just across the map, and Illumination Empire was kind of stuck in, like a kind of in a rut. They couldn't do much. They had to try and scramble to save whatever lanes that they could, and a lot of the strength from Rawr was their ability to get early leads and then put that kind of lead across the map, extend their lead, and really make Illumination Empire feel the pressure.
We're getting the Confirmation here that we are now live in pick of bands for the second game of the series here between Rawr and Illumination Empire. And like McBree pointed out earlier, it will still continue to be 4-band loss for the side of Illumination for the rest of the series. So once again, Illumination have to battle with a deficit, not being able to ban a lot of those picks that were so monstrous for the side of Rawr in that game, mainly looking at that Xayah and Yasuo, and unless Rawr decide to change things up again, they can always just ban the same 3 champions that they banned in the first game, which was the Talon, the Jax, and the Olaf.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to try and repeat that kind of success. Obviously, Illumination is going to be missing 80% of their bans with the 4-ban loss, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So Rawr going with some pretty strong bans. They are also able to get first pick. So, being on blue side when you have a 4-ban loss for the enemy team is, that's pretty instrumental. You're able to pick up a really strong OP champion, and you're able to also deny a lot. Oh no! Hopefully we won't see anything a little too disrespectful, but with no bans for the side of Illumination, Rawr can pick anything. They can pick a winning matchup for top lane. They can pick a winning matchup in the jungle for change. Maybe see a Kindred first pick. Give him that kind of agency to play his champion. But we are waiting to see. 7
seconds on the clock. They, like you said, they could pick any. Don't do it.
No!
Wow!
Oh.
That is so disrespectful coming out of Rawr. Basically, Gandhi Donut is saying, you know what? We just blasted you when you were playing that champion. And you know what? Now I'm going to pick the champion. And I'm going to show you how it's done. The fact that they do not just go for the Xayah or the Rakan pick right away just shows that Rawr is going for... this is pretty much the same amount of confidence we saw in that Scrim remade game, but it's not a Vayne blind pick. It's something more logical in the side of a Kaisa blind pick, but it's still pretty cocky to go for that. And Illumination Empire are looking to answer with the Ashe, this time Bronze Gatekeeper. He did have success in that remade game where he did have access to CC, so even if Bronze Gatekeeper is not ahead of his matchup, he can still provide the engage power with that Crystal Ashe arrow, or he can even just look for a pick opportunity. And then pairing with the Nami for Poison Rose is going to give him a little bit more sustained power to survive this early lane.
Yeah, I love this combo from Illumination. Ashe, we did see already, and just in general is a super safe laner, able to get a lot of poke off with the volley, and is just in general a very great AD carry. She's a pretty balanced, even champion, especially against a Kaisa who, as we said, has a pretty weak laning phase. I'm interested to see how Gandhi is going to try and pilot this one. With Nami and Ashe, she's going to have a very hard time trying to survive this laning phase. Just between poke and the volley, between the both of them, it should be a relatively rough laning phase. Looking to maybe see a Targon shield, sorry, not a Targon's, but a Doran shield early on. We might see some differences in that. But change, getting the Kindred, maybe we might see some real flame here and say, hey, Lunar Del Rey, you wanted to take my main champion here, you wanted to take the champion that I showed such great amount of skill on. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you how to really play this champion, just alongside Gandhi, who's like, hey, it might be a, Kaisa is not that much of a weak champion. I'll show you guys how to pilot this one on this in this game.
Oh man, and then the Yasuo's once again being locked in for Aquatic Dark. It's just going to be able to get that strong mid lane once again. But this is interesting. This is a Kled pick. Now I don't want to say anything, and this is going to be a Kled mid pick for sale, but we have seen Kled mid around the world, particularly during Rift Rivals when it was brought out by RWG's mid laner. I don't remember. Doinby, yes, thank you. When he brought it out, and the amount of roaming potential that Kled mid actually brings, the charge being able to launch himself from the mid lane down to the bot lane or top lane immediately, giving that huge speed boost to any allies wanting to take the same path as well, is very similar to basically a mid Nocturne, but but better, in the sense that he can dive really hard and he can tank aggro for so long, and then using the Kled passive or the Scarl passive, being able to dismount and dodge and juggle turret aggro pretty well with the rest of his teammates. And we're going to have to see if this is a Kled mid pick for sale, or if this is actually just going to go into the top lane.
Yeah, we do see a lot of jungle bans coming out, the Nocturne and the Talia, but ooh, so spicy Elise picks. Obviously, she has been getting a couple of buffs, especially with some of the runic echo changes that happened a couple of patches ago. And like you're saying, I personally am a huge fan of Kled top lane. Just in general, Kled is a super fun champion with your dismount ability. Just in general, you have a lot of damage bear trap on a rope, either the shotgun blast when you're dismounted, and violent tendencies ends up doing a lot of damage, especially in laning phase. And being able to use the dash that he has on his E allows you to stick targets so well. But this Elise pick is super interesting. I love this pick. It's definitely something really aggressive for Lunar Del Rey, but we are waiting to see what Rawr is going to pick. They do have a Vladimir that could also still be flexed. I'm pretty sure it won't be, though, as we do see Aquatic Dark is very proficient already on this Yasuo. But a Braum, a pretty great pick, a pretty even pick for the most part. I mean, Rawr in general has a really balanced team fight, I think.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And the Vladimir pick coming in as well. I mean, you have a lot of AoE damage, and the one thing that I think a lot of people forget about Vlad is the Hemoplague. I mean, yeah, it does a lot of damage after a while, much like the Death Mark in an AoE setting, but the thing that I think is the most important is the fact that it's an AoE team damage amplification, 12%. It's nothing to scoff at, and especially when you have a crap ton of other damage dealers in the Kai'Sa, in the Yasuo, in the Kindred that can stack up and make great use of that damage amplification. It doesn't matter if Cleaver Master falls behind in this top lane matchup, as he's been the case here against You Are Being Muted, as it seems like he's always had his number and has had the advantageous matchup. He could still lay down the Hemoplague, get a little bit of AoE damage, and then just allow the rest of his team to pile on and do the finishing blows for him. But it is an Aurelia pick for...
You Are Being Muted!
You are! So it's not only the Kled pick in the mid lane against Yasuo, but it's also You Are Being Muted on this Aurelia. And, you know, we haven't seen Aurelia in quite some time on the professional stage. As soon as she got hit with it wasn't even nerfs, it was more like damage tweaks to extend, rather than having a bursty assassination damage style, more of a fighter bruiser style. It basically shifted her from being a first pick or ban status to now just being more of a specific counter pick, and in fact just wasn't picked at all for the longest time.
Yeah, she has seen a couple of nerfs. If I remember correctly, she was also nerfed on this patch, or I think it was maybe last patch, where her E got changed, and some of her numbers for her Q got changed, or I think it was her W, but she's still receiving some changes to this day, and things to keep a note of. I mean, last game was not as strong of a performance, obviously, for Illumination, but I am very interested to see You Are Being Muted. He is always being placed on these carry champions, and maybe Sail and Aurelia can work together and get a lot of an advantage. I'm very much looking towards You Are Being Muted and Sail to try and carry this team into a first victory here.
Definitely gonna have to see. And one thing that is also kind of interesting is Lunar Del Rey has locked in, or has the Elise locked in. I don't even remember seeing that in the pick and ban phase, but I mean, Elise has been kind of out of the picture for quite a while, McBree. I don't even remember the last time I did see her in a professional setting. I know Brox played her in the EU LCS a couple weeks ago, but it was just like because he had no more champions literally to pick, as they banned almost all of his other champions in his pool.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the last place to go. But Elise is one of those champions that has a lot of early game potential, being able to snowball out of control, and it is one of the few matchups that does make Kindred a little scared, as if you can catch her with like off guard, you can hit her with the cocoon and you can immediately burst her down pre-level 6, as that is one of Elise's advantages. You just have so much assassination potential before a level 6 breaking mark for most of these junglers. And normally Change can just kite around the Elise, but if she just gets the burst down, I mean, then, you know, what better CC is death, you know?
Exactly. That is the best CC. You can't silence it. You can't be revived from, well, I mean, unless you have a GA, but, or a Zillion ult, but they are, I like this adaptation already, trying to prepare for a level 1 invade, which they might be trying to do, which we do end up seeing for the side of Rawr, or sorry, for Illumination. I think I think my colors are messed up. Okay, yes. Rawr is going for a level 1 invade, and they're already sitting on this blue buff, and see all 5 of the members of Illumination.
Jesus. Wow, 2 wards being placed down, and it's just gonna... But that does give the heads up to Illumination Empire that something was amiss, as 1 ward being placed down, you know, maybe it's just 1 person, but 2 wards, now that's some fishy stuff right there.
Definitely fishy, and I'm interested to see how this is going to end up turning out. They are going to obviously start on opposite sides. Elise is definitely going to be hurting. Not getting that blue buff early on is something that she might be needing definitely for her mana costs. But I'm interested to see.
She took the Hunter's Machete instead of Talisman. That's pretty detrimental.
I'm interested to see how Change is going to pilot this Kindred. You know, has been a point of contention for the pick and ban, whether or not he gets it, whether or not, you know, it's taken away from him. I'm interested to see how he pilots this. Maybe this is, you know, a champion that has to be pick or ban, or, you know, even if it's, or maybe it's just not that strong of a champion for him, and, you know, maybe I'm looking too much into the results of the games on it from him. Again, this is the second game of the series, and could be match point here for Rawr, and they could get another win here and end up taking the series and going to semis, or going to finals.
Yeah, and RNG is already on the side of Rawr here, as first Kindred mark has spawned on the top side of the map, right into pathing for Change. As we look, mid lane is getting pretty dicey here. The Conqueror is going to proc for Aquatic Dark, and he's just going to already force the exhaust, but Sale keeping his cool as he has both Ignite and Flash. He only got dismounted, and he's not going to be calling it quits just yet, as does get clipped by that Steel Tempest, though.
Yeah, he is slowly getting bravery back. They did also see Lunar Ray in the bot side with those wards on blue buff, so he is making his way to mid lane. Great job from Change already taking away the Raptors from Lunar Ray. Oh, stopping in the back. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, it's funny, but it's at the same time, you're right. It's absolutely great. I mean, you definitely don't want to allow Aquatic Dark to get an optimal backing on that, but he does back away and now backs a little bit later. But it does give Sale some reprieve to be able to. Oh, Lunar Ray is not in a good spot. Change could follow with the flash, but he cannot find him quite yet. But he beats himself, as Sale is now going to get the first blood for himself in the mid lane.
I really like the Mastery 5 flash from Change on Kindred. Immediately flashes over the wall and then has to flash the Mastery that he is in fact Mastery 5 on the champion. Lunar Ray, I mean, that was a great dodge from Change to try and dodge the cocoon with the dancing arrows, but really aggressive and not recognizing that Sale is still in that mid lane, hasn't backed, and he's able to get first blood, does get double buffs transferred over to him, and this is a lot of gold now being given over for first blood. A lot of resources, I should say.
Oh man, that is definitely one thing that could have not gone worse for Change. Burning the flash after burning his counterpart's flash, but now he wants revenge. He's like, you know what, Sale, I don't appreciate you screwing over my first blood potential. Now, it has been 3 times that Illumination Empire have now gotten first blood, including that remade game. But Sale, now with the first blood and the double buffs, is going to give him a lot of power in this mid lane for the next couple of minutes.
Oh, look at that damage. Just from Violent Tendencies doing max % health damage.
Yeah. Does pop Squirrel, however, but he can get his bravery back up, and it is forcing Aquatic Dark. He went back for a dagger and a refillable potions, but he's actually going to flash in on the Sale. He is going to have to flash away, but can he get bravery in time? No, he can't! Can he get the Ignite down? No! The flow shield does come up in the nick of time and allows him to survive the last tick of Ignite. Sale just overestimating, becoming a little too confident on that. But Lunar Del Rey has a chance to pop, and on the chain, he's going to get the point blank Cocoon. And we talked about this matchup. If you get the assassination, then death is the best CC you can have in the game.
Yeah, Sale is probably asking Riot to please nerf Triumph as a mastery just in general. That ended up saving Aquatic. He did have red buff and Ignite ticking down, and that is a lot of damage coming down. And somehow, obviously, Aquatic is able to live, so does end up getting double buffs again transferred over to Aquatic. And I love Lunar Del Rey. He's saying, I mean, he's showing that the Kindred pick isn't as great in Change's hands.
I mean, when you can have the drop on him in this matchup, and he's just trying to play it as best as he can. He had a little slip up earlier on, but then because Sale was able to come to the rescue, was able to provide him that relief. But now that Sale, unfortunately, got outplayed there in the mid lane, just staying a little too long, thinking that he could get the Ignite damage down and trade kills onto Aquatic Dart. But now double buff is in his hands. With access to Last Breath, he can definitely cause some spell troubles for Sale here.
So I can withstand a game being remade. I can withstand, going 0-2 within 6 minutes. What I can't stand is you die, you have about 700 to 800 gold on you, you don't get your challenging smite, you go, you get your clear topside, and then you back. You're so inefficient with your passing and your that is what's gonna end up tilting. Ends up backing, does end up getting also the daggers and boots, but was sitting on a hunter's machete for the past 6.5 minutes and wasn't doing very much with it. You had a lot of gold. You had about 1,000 when you had finished taking wolves, so you definitely had enough on back when you had died down bot lane. Just little things. He's definitely not paying attention. He's not paying as much attention anymore to this game, and is maybe trying to recover a little bit mentally from, getting blasted on, blasting the Kindred and then getting blasted on Kindred.
I appreciate you, McBree, for being real, because I felt like I was the only one that was kind of flaming, and then I was just gonna single me out. I was like, well, this caster is too rough on people, but sometimes
I usually try not to flame because I try to show there's got to be something good about that. Yeah, there's got to be a reason why they're doing that, but there's no reason for not buying an item. But now mid lane,
Aquatic Dark was able to dodge the bear on a rope, a bear trap on a rope, and fortunately Sale has to back out of that one, and then gets his second bear trap blocked by the wind wall. Aquatic Dark, I mean, those 4 bands really hurting Illumination Empire, but he's just gonna charge in there, and he has the support of Lunar Del Rey, but can he get over to Change? The Cocoon misses, and Change was not able to get in range for the Lamb's Respite. He's able to take down Sale, and Lunar Del Rey is gonna just call it quits as the top laner, Cleaver Master, was teleporting, and your being muted is now gonna have that teleport advantage in his favor.
Great job from Change there. Obviously they did end up trading mid laners, but Change doing so much damage with the mounting dread, and you're being muted now.
Oh, he does force the Hemoplague back onto him, and he flashes away, just probably underestimating how much damage Cleaver Master was going to be able to do. He thought he had a good advantage now with teleport being burned down and wanted to extend it a little bit further, but then realized Vlad does a lot of damage. Sometimes.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't do a lot of damage, the Hemoplague going to be coming down, especially alongside the pool. He can just get so much healing, and you can avoid a lot of the damage from Aurelia. So, just going very aggressive. We'll have the ults almost on a similar cooldown. Both Cleaver Master is going to have the flash advantage and has the electrocute in this lane. So, no change here though.
Ooh, I almost saw a crystal arrow coming out from Bronze Gatekeeper. He just saw the easy point blank engagement start, but he has to hold restraint. He has to be careful. But actually going for it, and now the tidal wave is going to come out, and now Change reveals himself. The bamboozle has been shown, and the killer instinct is going to come in. He's going to force the flash out of Poison Rose, and as well as Bronze Gatekeeper, both sums and ultimates being come down. But the point blank cocoon, Condy Donut is going to be able to flash it out. He still has it. Can he go for Change? He's going to get the assassination, but he doesn't have repel. Doesn't even need it. What a great bubble from Poison Rose landing it on the Gandhi Donut, and now the tides have turned for bot lane. Gandhi and Donut and Focus It's not Itchy Rat, by the way. Focus, the starting support, came back in to try and relieve his AD carry this time around, but maybe he would have preferred Itchy Rat on the Rakan than the Xayah pick.
Yeah, I just recognized that it was Focus. For some reason, I don't know why I kept thinking it was Itchy Rat, but this is super important because the Nami was taken away from Focus. Focus is a huge Nami main, you know, getting a lot of games down and, you know, bringing a lot of the success with him, with that champion. And not being on the Braum and that Nami being taken away from him in the first part of the draft is super huge. They do end up change, you know, he ends up being there just too long, and it allows Lunar to rotate from mid around the Raptor area all the way down to bot lane, and you can even see the wards. There's absolutely zero vision allowed for the side of Rawr.
Yeah. And then one thing as well that is kind of funny about just Elise in general, actually, just getting baited by top lane trades, you know. Aurelia just goes back in on the fourth. Actually, Last Breath is going to be used on a Sail, gets the Conqueror, but doesn't really get much follow-up after that, so that's a very important cooldown that has been burned early on. It's not that rank 3 cooldown where it's up every 30 seconds. It's pretty much going to be down for quite some time, and that's something that can be used. I mean, it's an important cooldown early on.
Yeah, I mean, you do get the Last Breath, and he does automatically sail. Great job using the Jousting to immediately move out of the way. I like this rotation from Illumination, moving their top lane, or moving their bot lane to the top lane, trying to get this kill onto him. Change is going to probably have to stay, catch this wave alongside Cleaver Master. But yeah, I mean, moving your muted into this lane that already has a turret down, pretty good. Uh-oh, charge, going right onto Aquatic Dark.
Yeah, he knows he doesn't have Last Breath, so, but meanwhile, on the top side of the map, they're going for an engage onto Cleaver Master. Tidal Wave is not going to connect onto Vladimir, however. Meanwhile, the camera is just confused as which focus should I go for, and Change is now going to be brought down. Lamb's Respite was not up on time for cooldown. That's 2 kills going out for the side of Illumination Empire, and that's going to be the second turret going to be able to take. And unfortunately for Gandhi, don't have Focus, they're not able to really put or pressure anything down onto the bot side of the map in response either.
Yeah, that was a lot of CC, and I love the layering. Typically when I see teams, you know, just immediately throw every single bit of CC and the kitchen sink out all at the same time, but that layering of CC, they land the cocoon, and then immediately they hit him with the ultimate from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from Bronze Gatekeeper, and he was stunned for so long, going to about 10 to 15% health, immediately has to use Pool, and they continue to dive, push their advantage, and they end up getting another turret, which is, you know, this is the Illumination Empire that we expected to see in that game 1 of the series.
Absolutely, and the Lunar Del Rey show is pretty much back online with this Elise pick. Runic Echo's fully completed. I believe he has enough gold to get either Sorcerer boots or an Oblivion Orb. He's sitting on 1500 gold, so he could get either or and be comfortable with getting a Ruby Crystal if he goes for the tier 2 boots, or just sitting on an Oblivion Orb. As one of the great things about Elise Jungle is when you do get ahead, his snowball build is very cost effective. You get flat magic penetration, as the base damage is pretty much a lot of max percent health damage as well as execute damage, so magic penetration just makes it pretty much true damage, especially early on with all the MR nerfs. So this is looking pretty good for Lunar Del Rey as long as he can keep up the tempo.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Change as someone who likes to play Kindred. You only have 1 stack at 13 minutes. You're sitting by the side of the road with your tin can. You're like, can I please get a bounty, please? Please Massive, may I please have a change, you know, some bounty so I can get that increased ranged? But he is not having an amazing game. It looks like he's gonna be going for Blood Razor, which there is a lot of bruisers. I mean, you can see it against the Aurelia and Sail on this Kled. You're looking to try and put down a lot of damage from the Blood Razor, but
Sail unfortunately loses Scarl, but he will be able to gunshot his way out of a sticky situation, as side of Illumination do pick up the first Drake. It was Cloud, so will allow them to rotate over the map a lot quicker, and with a snowbally comp like in the likes that they have right now, it's going to be very vital for allowing them to quickly pick up any turrets that they can punish off of misplacement of teams on the side of the map.
Yeah, this is some of the strengths that we even saw from Rawr last game. They obviously had their advantages, so what did they do? They moved their lanes over. They moved Gandhi out of bot lane into the top lane, go down to mid. We saw those rotations, and that's what you want to do when you have such an advantage right now, and when you get advantage either across the map in either your jungle position or in one of your lanes.
Oh no! Cut the camera. Cut the feed. We need technical difficulties kind of thing. Unfortunately, Bronze Gatekeeper, I think he was just trying to time the wind wall going down with the crystal arrow, but that is a huge Monka S right there.
Yeah, immediately. It's like the wind wall is already up. Oh, sail though. No turret.
Uh-oh, and the charge, he's going to be able to lock him down. And even Gandhi Donut is here, but I don't think he's going to be able to turn the tides. But the flash coming in from Cleaver Master. Can he just get one more Tides of Blood? Or a Sanguine Pool, please? Anything to save him. And actually, he just gets gunned down in the streets by Gandhi Donut. Even though the damage wasn't that massive, he just couldn't close the distance. Meanwhile, mid lane, Tidal Wave comes in. Glacial Fissure is going to try to disengage as much as possible, but Shelly is taking up the turret damage. Meanwhile, there's just so much damn action happening. You are being mutants diving between two turrets, forcing the Lamb's Respite. Focus is going to get hit by the cocoon, and he steps out of the safety of Lamb's Respite. It didn't matter. He was going to go down anyway. Cleaver Master gets a cheeky kill with the teleport and the Crimson Rush there, and now they're just going for more. CC is down. Sanguine Pool is also down. Luna Del Rey, he's going to try to get it out. Repel, he goes on too. Holy shit. This spider is out of control for Luna Del Rey. They are just forcing and driving past this mid lane with this 3-man core.
Someone go get the raid, please. Someone get something. Get the electric bug splatter. I don't know. Something to catch this Elise right now. Luna Del Rey, amazing use of the repel to try and dodge tower aggro and just a lot of damage just in general. Something to note there in that bot lane fight for Cleaver Master versus Sail. I think he was being very conservative with his flash. If he had just kept the flash alongside Cleaver Master, who had flashed immediately after the bear trap on a rope lands, I think you actually do end up getting the pull him out of the bush, and you're able to get a lot more damage, and you're able to keep that distance between each other pretty short, as you are a melee champion once you off-mounted. But, you know, great rotation from Gandhi to move down immediately and help him. That dive in the mid lane was amazing. You're being muted, obviously, really pushing the limits on this Aurelia, trying to just dive in between both the turrets, and Luna Del Rey is completely commandeering this game. Like, he is the front runner for elimination right now.
6-0-4 on this Elise here, McBree. I mean, Luna Del Rey, he took that first game after the remake pretty hard. I mean, he was on the Kindred. Now he realized, you know what? I don't even need the Kindred. Allow change to get his comfort pick. So what? I'm still beasting him even with his quote-unquote best champion. And so now, you know, there's times when you can really tilt people if, you know, you beat them when they're not on a comfortable champion, but it hurts even more when they're on their quote-unquote signature champion and you still destroy them.
Yeah, and I mean, Kindred right now, just in general, even if like we say, like, right, he didn't take Kindred that first game.
Just look at the damage coming out from Luna Del Rey, forces Gandhi Donut back, and Focus having to take the blunt of the damage as well. And Change, he wants revenge, he's gonna flash in, but he's not gonna be able to close the distance, and here comes Charge! Sail coming in with Kled and Scarl, and they're gonna be able to clean down Aquatic Dart. Holy moly, they're forcing them all to flash away. You're being muted with the Vanguard's Edge. Forces the rest of Rawr to scram like rats, and they're going to have to flee the safety of their own base as they're going to have to succeed this turret and the inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Rawr is necessarily using the strength of their comp. They have a Vladimir, they have the Yasuo, they have something like a Brahmin. Oh, Cleaver Master.
They're trying to turn it around. Cleaver Master with the Hemoplague is going to give Change enough damage amplification to be able to take down Sail. Some reprieve being given, but the inhibitor has still been taken down on the side of Rawr here. But they could be turning to get some vision control on the Baron, as it's still 19 minutes and 20 seconds, so not quite time yet to burn it down. But with the amount of damage coming out from Bronze Gatekeeper with the Blade of the Ruin King, Runon's Hurricane, and the percent health damage from Luna Del Rey, if they wanted to start this Baron, they definitely can.
Yeah, amazing. The Mounting Dread from Kindred there, doing obviously a lot of damage once it procs. just a lot of damage just in general. I think they were staying just a little bit too long. Obviously, they were able to get the kill on the way out, but again, I don't think that Rawr is necessarily using their team fight the way that they need to. I mean, they have the Braum and the Kaisa who are going to be looking for those team fights. You have the Yasuo who's definitely looking for something, especially with the Braum engage maybe. Kindred is trying to skirt around the edges, trying to get some damage, maybe pick off one person, but this Vladimir, Cleaver has not been there for some team fights, and, you know, he's not able to get that Hemoplague. We did just see, you know, some of the efficiency of maybe getting a 4-man, 5-man Hemoplague, and now we see an engage now.
I don't know if he actually still wants to go for the engage. He's just trying to layer down the stuns. He was waiting for the rest of his team. No. The Crystal Air coming in. That's the Bronze Gatekeeper. He does quite have the enthusiastic Crystal Arrows. He just wants to help, you know?
Yeah, he was definitely just trying to set it up, trying to make sure that Cleaver was either was going to try and re-engage, but
this could be a bait. Charge is not actually up for sale.
Too. Could try and do it.
Oh, now it is. I was a little bamboozled. I think I was slightly delayed right there, but Aquatic Dark has gotta be careful. Now there's 3 members dedicated to defending this right now, but Gandidona is not there to defend with the push, and you don't really have a lot of wave clear, so this should be second tier turret going over to the side of Illumination Empire. Just more gold being funneled in. We're almost at 10k gold advantage for the side of Illumination Empire.
Yeah, this game is you know, reminding me just a little bit of that first game that we had to remake. I mean, 5-12, and now
Aquatic Dark wants to make something happen. He realizes the pressure that's down, and with the rest of... Oh, wow! And that is just a dead. You are being muted. He was in a pretty bad situation, flashing in to the Void Seeker. I mean, even if he could get away from Aquatic Dark, Gandidona could have always followed up with the Killer Instinct.
But they know, I mean, they sent 2 people down ball lane, so you know you immediately call for Baron, and now,
the beautiful layering of CC, like you mentioned before in that last fight, Cocoon into Bubble. There's just no chance for Cleaver Master. And now without that damage amplification going in, that could potentially turn the tide of a battle. You don't have that anymore, and they're still waiting. They're just forcing picks. They're forcing the rest of Rawr to face check like monkeys, and they just keep falling for the bait here, McBree. Now 2 members or more down, and this should be a safe Baron to take.
That was an amazing bait there. There's no vision for Rawr to see what exactly is going on in the pit, and, you know, staying behind the walls, they can't exactly see them without them face checking, and that's an amazing pick right there. They're able to just get the flash out and immediately hit Cocoon. Obviously also has the Enchanted Crystal Arrow to land some stun onto Change, and right now, I mean, Illumination Empire, they are, you know, they had their backs to the wall. They said, all right, you know, the first game that they had to remake, they're like, all right, look, guys, we already flexed on these kids. Like, we can maybe take a break. Maybe they're not on our level. But then Rawr comes out with his second game, or the official first game, and just an amazing performance from them. And so now Illumination, maybe they're, you know, they're kind of like a dog in a corner. They're willing to fight for their, you know, their position. Is their first place seed. Again, this is our first place seed against our 5th place, and Rawr with their only loss being to Illumination. This should be an amazing matchup for Illumination Empire. They should definitely be looking to be, you know, they want to prove the fact that they are our first seed. They're not just some random team that is willing to be taken down by, you know, Rawr as our 5th seed.
This is quite the turnaround from the first game. And these Cocoons have just been so vital. Wow, the threat is there. The Glacial Fissure will prompt the last breath, and now Hemoplague onto the backline members. Can Cleaver Master get enough damage onto the backside? Lunar Duray has picked up focus here. Then Sail has fallen down to Change. The Lamb's Spite is going to provide some relief. Cleaver Master, can he get some damage? But the bubble will stop him in his tracks. And now 2 members have fallen on the side of Rawr here. Gandidona, where were you? Yeah, I guess he was just trying to push back the top side of the map, but he's all caught out right here. He could get clipped by a Cocoon. He's forced to flash away from Lunar Duray, but he wants blood. Can we get the action onto the Gandidona? He actually just gets away, and it looks like this could be the final push here. They only have 4 members against 3, but it might be strong enough as the Baron minions are just pounding down on these turrets.
I think actually Gandhi went through the mid lane. He used his Killer Instinct to end up near blue buff and then had to run away and went the long way just in case, but that was almost a textbook fight. Oh, Change.
Oh, man, Change having the flash away from the Vanguard's edge and just a little bit more push. They're playing with their food at this point as they can just easily end the game, but they want to buff the KDAs. They want to send a message. They want to show them that they're coming back for this game-ending series. They want to secure that first seed into going into the finals. And they are still actually, wait a minute, a couple members of no, I missed that. No. It's all good. It's an absolute bait. Yeah.
God damn.
5-0-12 on Bronze Gatekeeper, by the way.
10-0-10.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yikes. That was an amazing performance from Illumination. Definitely, this is the game that got remade. This is the game that we had been, talking about at the beginning of this series.
Oh my god. Like, this means we're not only going to get silver scrapes, but it shows that this draft for this final game is going to be everything for both of these teams. Because we can clearly see how instrumental it is for Gandhi Donut to get an aggressive lane setup. He needs, the Kai'Sa you talked about in the first game when it was put on Bronze Gatekeeper. Kai'Sa's not an early game lane bully champion. It's not like Release Kai'Sa where she was able to just be good at every freaking single stage of the game. It is someone who needs to scale. He needs a couple of items, even 3 items, to be considered that late game Vayne 2.0, as many people point and talk about. And when Gandhi Donut was put on that versus the likes of the Xayah, and with the proactiveness that its Itchy Rat was able to bring with the Rakan Xayah duo, we saw so much aggression and confidence coming out from that bot lane. But this time it was just the Braum and the Kai'Sa, and then putting up against Poison Rose on Nami after stealing it away from Focus. As you pointed out, it is Focus's main champion. The sustain advantage plus the poke advantage that Bronze Gatekeeper is able to provide with the Ashe, and then the engagement opportunities from both of their ultimates. It was enough to override that bot lane advantage that Gandhi Donut and Itchy Rat had in the first game of the series. And because Lunar Del Rey was on this very explosive early game snowballing champion in the Elise, he completely took the game over.
Yeah, I think Illumination, they obviously play to their strengths. You are being muted, obviously, in the top lane, not getting too much, but holding his own, being able to, hold it down. Luna Del Rey, though, on this, at least, a huge impact on this game. Amazing jungling prowess, and we've seen in the past couple games he does have some pretty okay performances, especially in the early game. I just think a lot of it came down to Rawr not playing the game that they wanted. They didn't get the team fights that they wanted with the Vladimir, and with Kai'Sa obviously being able to try and at least 1v9, but still a great win from Illumination, and that's going to tie up the series 1-1. We're going to have to go into a game 3 for our best of 3 here, and this series is pretty insane, all things considered.
Definitely delivering. So do not turn off that browser, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to be listening, hopefully, to some silver scrapes provided by our wonderful production crew here. And we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now into the final game of the series between Elimination Empire and Rawr. But before we get into the final pick and ban phase for Game 3, McBree, he's got some post-game stats to break down after that crushing game from the side of Illumination Empire.
All right. I mean, Illumination Empire, they kind of just from the jump immediately started this game off with some pretty good picks. I mean, Elise over here for Elimination was just doing work. Lunar Del Rey was like, all right, look, I'll let you take your Kindred. You've been whining about having that champion. Well, guess what? We'll let you have it. And guess what? I'll still smash you. Going 10-0 and 10 on this Elise, immediately blowing up every single lane. Bot lane, Bronze Gatekeeper picking up something of the Ashe and also taking Nami away from focus from the side of Rawr. Amazing job in this bot lane. They were able to stabilize, and when Elise came back down there, immediately blew up that lane. Kaisa, Gandhi Donut, and Focus on the Braum. They just immediately got destroyed, and they were able to snowball this lead, move them towards the top side. You're being muted, was able to just stabilize the lane, kept it completely even. Did give up a couple kills towards the later stages of this game, going only 24 minutes, but we already seen the gold. I mean, 15k damage. Elise, if we look at the damage, it just does literally does more damage than the entirety of Rawr's team. Sale in this mid lane, I mean, it wasn't an amazing matchup. He was up against a Yasuo, and Change was showing some love to his lane, but I mean, Sale on this Kled was just, he was able to stay in those side lanes, use the charge, end up really forcing fights alongside the bubble, the Nami's ultimate, and especially alongside Cocoon and Enchanted Crystal Arrow just made it super hard for Rawr to ever show up and not immediately get blown up with so much CC. The top lane matchup again was pretty even. A lot of this came down to Rawr not getting team fights that they wanted. Again, they do get 5 bans. Illumination, they lose 4 bans, but I mean, only being able to ban Morgana and you still don't get a good enough team fight. I mean, you can draft yourself an amazing team all you want, but if you're not able to get the team fight that you want, or if you're not able to set yourself up to get the victory that maybe you were supposed to get from, getting this pick advantage, setting yourself up with a lot of winning lanes, get yourself some comfort champions. It just means that you're kind of squandering your ban advantage that you're having in this game.
Absolutely. And you said it right there. The fact that even though Sale was not the highest damage dealer on his team, he just provided so much utility in the vital engagements coming out from the charge, and it just pretty much between that and then just Lunar Del Rey's impressive dominating Elise game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the bot lane was able to I mean, we can see the damage coming out from Bronze Gatekeeper, and it's the biggest one, no doubt about it. But we have to look at the perspective of the whole series, and it cannot be avoided that if Bronze Gatekeeper is put behind, then he's not going to have a good game. But if Lunar Del Rey can get some focus down onto the bot side of the map, and then set up his bot lane for success, then definitely you can make Bronze Gatekeeper look like an absolute monster on this Ashe.
Yeah, I think Lunar Del Rey has shown some very good early games. Change not so much has been shown to be a little bit more aggressive, be a little bit caught out in some situations. I think the early game for Elimination is always very very clean. Obviously, we didn't see that in game 1 where they kind of got blasted in the bot lane pretty early on, but for the jungler, at least from the jungler perspective, I think they have a lot of clear strengths in there. But it does come down to after that clear strength where you get the early game, what do you do with it? How do you extend this advantage? How do you push this lead? And we did see in game 1 where Elimination did end up losing it to Rawr in the first game. They had some of the early advantage there with the Kindred, and they ended up kind of squandering it and not able to do anything with it, and ended up giving the win over to Rawr with some pretty good team fights. But going into this game, I am looking for Illumination to try and draft themselves some pretty, some winning lanes. I want to see You Are Being Muted on this Aatrox again. He did have a great performance in the game that we did have to remake, but just in general, You Are Being Muted is such a great carry player. I do want to see him do more with the amount of potential that he does have. And Lunar Del Rey has shown just so much excellency on a lot of champions, a wide array of champions at least.
Yeah. And we're going to have to see what happens now as we're going to pick and ban for the final game of the series, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, the 4-ban loss is still relevant for the rest of the series for this final game, including. So, once again, Illumination and Empire have to battle with the fact that they only have one ban to use, and it's going to be in the second ban phase. So, unfortunately for them, they still have to give over a lot of comfort picks for the side of Rawr. But McBree, one thing that we were talking about in just between you and me, during intermission, is that one of the bans that Rawr might look to change around is that Olaf to an Ashe, because Bronze Gatekeeper, when he's on someone that can engage a fight or has the agency to start a pick, then it definitely swings things towards the side of Illumination.
Yeah, I mean, we only see the Talon and the Jax right now, so, I mean, hopefully we might be able to see it. I mean, if you can just, at this point, I think you can't focus too much on the jungle unless you're going to fully commit to banning a lot of these junglers, a lot of these early game aggressive junglers. So, we do see the Ashe does end up getting banned, and I think you just have to be able to sit back, let Lunar Del Rey, get a pick, but as soon as that happens, kind of just switch it up. I'm interested to see what they do pick for the first pick here. Again, for anyone who did miss, Luna Del Rey is an E-sub for Illumination, so they're going to end up losing 4 bans. Excuse me. And they're going to end up losing 4 bans, and so we are waiting to see what the first pick for Rawr here is. I'm interested to see if maybe they start picking up some more supports for Focus, or they even do pick up a good top lane matchup for Claver Master. But it does look like they're going to lock in the Nami, which Focus is a huge Nami main, something that was stolen from him last match, so it could be another contributing factor as to why Rawr necessarily didn't win that one, among other things, but I do like his priority for Focus here.
Yeah, and it probably will be reflected as we get into game once Focus is on this Nami, as if you're coming back in after you were given a sub over to the side of Itchy Rat, you definitely want to be on your comfort pick. But with that being stolen away in the second game, on that Braum, we didn't really look proactive. But now with the Nami is going to provide that sustained power to provide the relief for Gandhi Donut to survive in a lane, as especially when Illumination Empire, even though the Ashe is down, you still have Varus on the table, and the Chain of Corruptions can definitely start things similar to a Crystal Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, this Varus, he does have a pretty good laning phase. I mean, we might even see a lethality where you're looking to dominate that early to mid game. Interested to see what they're going to end up going with, but the Morgana as well allows them to keep a very good poke lane. Some pretty safe now. For Bronze Gatekeeper, I think this allows him to have some very good initiation, like you were saying with the Ashe. A little bit short, a lot shorter range than the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but I mean, the Varus is always such a strong pick. Is pretty flexible as well, so can keep Rawr on their toes when it comes to damage profiles. I mean, we do see for the side of Rawr, they do Aquatic Dark. I mean, after that first game that we had to remake, has been getting this Yasuo every single game without fail. Obviously, we can attribute that to no bans, but I want to see a little bit more synergy between him and Change, which is exactly what we're going to see here with the Gragas being picked up.
Yeah, now Change is probably realizing, you know what, I'm going to get dominated in this jungle matchup either way. So rather than trying to pick a high damage jungler that can be, excuse my French, freaking useless once it falls behind in this matchup, he is just going to go for the safer route in picking a tank like Gragas, or not necessarily a tank, as you can always go Runic Echoes if you get ahead, but it's just the fact that Gragas provides you a lot of utility even when behind. You still have the Body Slam Flash for engages or disengages. You have the Explosive Cask for picks, engages, disengages. Gragas is just a very versatile champion, and with all the buffs and the love that he's received over the past couple patches, he's resurged back into the meta, and is just flexible in almost any team composition situation. And we could even see if Change doesn't take this Gragas, as there's always the possibility of flexing that Gragas to the top lane with Arcane Comet or Grasp of the Undying. Can be a strong lane into the likes of You Are Being Muted, but based on what we've seen between Cleaver Master and You Are Being Muted being able to pretty much win almost every single matchup for his favor, just keep it neutral, and it hasn't really been impactful of the lane. More than likely, this should be going over for change in the jungle. But Sale, he's going to go once again with that Kled in the mid lane.
I love it. This guy, I mean, we did already see it once, so maybe he's going for a repeat amazing matchup. Probably won't be getting double buffs as soon in his lane as maybe last game, but I think if you can get a repeat performance, or even just a little bit better performance from him on something like this Kled against the Yasuo, I think it can definitely have the same results of last game where they did end up winning, and you can get a pretty dominant mid lane. Oh, I love this pick for You Are Being Muted. You get the Camille. This is great, if only for the reason that you're letting You Are Being Muted get these carry roles. You're letting him get to these carry positions. We do see the Elise and Rawr being, the Elise and Olaf being taken away.
Yeah, I mean, even though Rawr has kind of understood that banning the jungles early on was not as important, you can still take away the picks that have already been demonstrated to be useful. You don't necessarily need to give Lunar Del Rey a champion he's already had success with. You don't want to take that gamble. But with the Xayah being the final ban from Illumination Empire, I think that was probably the best ban you could have stick with if you only had one ban to go, as now this forces Gandhi Donut onto a new pick once again. And this is the Poppy answer. However, I would love if Camille is flexed to Lunar Del Rey and you get an advantageous matchup against this Poppy, because Poppy can deal with Camille because of the steadfast presence with the hook shot. So we're going to have to see, unless there's even more crazy flexes between Change and Cleaver Master. But if just 4 seconds on the clock, what is it going to be, McBree?
Oh, the Darius. I love this matchup. This is a great matchup for the Darius.
Oh my god, the mind games, McBree. I love this. Honestly, you know what? I'm too excited about this, McBree. You just gotta tell me. Come on, man. You just look at the draft at Illumination Empire. The fact that they've had to work with 4 ban losses, and they just understand. I honestly, they've made the best situation out of what they were dealing with.
Yeah, and I do love this Darius pick into the into the Poppy. Sorry, I got my Yordles mixed up, but I mean, Poppy is, as much as she's a tank, she still has a lot of bruiser aspects to her. She does a lot of damage just with tank stats. She does get a bump in terms of tank stats when she gets to 30% or lower health with her steadfast presence passive. She just in general has a lot of good things going for her when it comes to damage. She can even go full tank and still put out a decent amount. The Keeper's Verdict is definitely going to be important when it comes to these matchups. I mean, when it comes to lanes to look for, I mean, obviously we're looking at this jungle matchup between Change and Lunar Del Rey. I mean, these two players have shown, a little bit back and forth. They have been very much key components to their teams winning these games in both of their wins and losses. Gandhi Donut, we have seen some carry performances from, but Bronze Gatekeeper is looking to try and keep the game in an even state.
Yeah, and as we're loading into the game here, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. This is what we have all been waiting for. Game 3 between Illumination Empire 1st seed and Rawr 5th seed. But Illumination Empire being the only team that Rawr has lost to in the regular season once they came in during the second half of the split. And just McBree, I cannot imagine what it is like to be the players right now sitting in this situation. You had to go through the remake, especially for the side of Illumination Empire. But even more so, I mean, it's almost equal for Rawr as well. Rawr, they had a devastating first game that was remade and started the series all off again. And they thought they had a moment of relief as they were able to win that first official game of the series. And then it looked like they were so confident in being able to take it home for the second 2-0 sweep. Mm-hmm. But then, I mean, Illumination Empire came back swinging in that Elise and Ashe combo, and now we're at game 3, and Illumination Empire, they're feeling pretty good. It's like, you know what? It doesn't matter we have 4 ban losses. It doesn't matter we have to remake the series. we have this. We can win this game. And now Rawr, I cannot imagine what they're thinking. Are they quivering in their shoes? Do they have Monka S on their faces right now? I mean, this is going to be crazy, dude.
What I'm definitely worried about is just the flash automatically.
Not the best of flashes, but it does dodge the hook shot, so that's the only thing that's important. And once again, Illumination Empire with the advantageous invades. I mean, level 1, their invades have just been so well played, whether it results in just a neutral standpoint or getting some kind of summoner advantage for themselves.
Yeah, so something I want to take note is if you're Elimination Empire, I mean, regardless of being the first seed, and obviously you want to win matches when you can, they are definitely looking to win this, if only for the reason that DOV Esports is waiting for them in the finals, and they ended up taking Brainstorm Gaming. Brainstorm Gaming, they are the only team to have a positive record against Illumination Empire in this entire series, or in this entire season, and taking them out in the quarterfinals was super important, and it ended up being the now that DOV is waiting for them, Elimination Empire being the kind of the elders in this situation, in the fact that they've been here for so long, they're looking to try to get into this finals, if only for the reason that they get to play against a somewhat inexperienced team.
Yeah, and speaking of the action starting about, Lunar Del Rey is just going for the level 2 gank with Camille, as you definitely can. That hook shot, even level 1, is so dangerous, and just already burning the sum from Aquatic Dark. That is going to set things right for Sail in this mid lane.
Yeah, already having a flash advantage in mid lane. Sail with the Conqueror to help him fight in the 1v1. Something I do like in terms of runes, you are being needed taking the phase rush to try and keep on top of Cleaver. I love that addition. Obviously, once you get the once you get Phage, you get so much movement speed just from your bleed stacks, and with Phase Rush, you can just run down any opponent, especially in this tank matchup where Poppy has a lot of movement speed. And we see an engage. The hookshot did land.
Lunar Del Rey is just hammering down the pain in this mid lane. He's just trying to put Aquatic Dark as far as he can. He knows how well Aquatic Dark can do in this mid lane if he guts ahead against Sail, and he just needs Sail to be in a good spot so that once he's level 6, he has the Tiamat Power Spike so that he can just instantly clear waves and then look for roams with the charge.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm loving Lunar Del Rey's pathing. He did go red into mid lane and then immediately took the scuttle. Change is going for a little bit of delayed, going for a 2-buff camp. But if we look at this, I mean, look at the amount of wards that they have. They know that he's in this top side. Change is now doing Gromp right now, but Sail was able to get both scuttles and is now having double buffs as well. It does have the blue buff now. So, large advantage right now, I would say, over already to Elimination. They are able to put down a lot of vision. They're also able to keep control of this jungle. We might even see an engage now on the bot side near Raptors.
Yeah, Lunar Del Rey is just waiting for Change. He knows where he's going to go, but meanwhile, the bot side of the map, the camera kind of changes the perspective of the game as Change didn't flash, but he just body slammed away, and he has to succeed the Raptors. Just Lunar Del Rey, impeccable pathing, and just great understanding of where Change is going to be.
Yeah, we have to think about, the cause and effect of this. I mean, he went mid lane, blew the flash of Aquatic Dark, and now Sail has this matchup in mid lane where he's able to just completely stomp him. Oh,
they can go for a kill. They don't even need the Ignite. Actually, they do. I take that back, but it's still first blood for Sail. And once again, Illumination Empire are going to start off the game with a huge advantage.
Yeah, I mean, the wind wall only blocks so much. I mean, yes, it is somewhat of a skill shot using the hook shot, but it is in fact not a projectile. Sadly, the wind wall could not block the entirety of Camille's body, but these are the we're reaping the rewards, and now Lunar just completely in his jungle right now.
Lunar Del Rey's got to be a little careful, but actually Gandhi didn't go join the rest of his team to push Lunar Del Rey out, so he will actually be able to get away. Another hook shot cooldown as it comes down for him, and he even steals away the big Krug, so now he has a huge XP advantage. And man, I mean,
16 CS right now for Rawr, so if Gandhi would have left, that would have been, that's about as worth as possible for Lunar.
Yeah, and he just understands the situation of his bot lane right now. They are winning this CS war so big right now, and then he's just playing off of that advantage. He already knows that Change is down in pressure, not being able to match up. And one of the things, McBree, as I don't know if you've personally played Camille before, but it's just one of the things as Camille jungle is that it's a real flip-flop of it's a very, how do I say,
Coin flip.
yeah, it is a coin flip. It's you can either pop off and have a great game, or you can fall behind. As one of the problems about Camille Jungle is that she doesn't have a lot of AoE clearing ability, which is why you see a lot of Camille Jungles when it was popping up rush that Tiamat, as it was absolutely necessary to be able to clear the Raptor camps and the Wolves, which are the ones going to give you the most XP when you're trying to power farm and get to that Trinity Force. But you can clear single target camps relatively fast because you do have the true damage and the extra on-hit damage from the Hunter's Machete. And Lunar Del Rey, I mean, the dream for a Camille Jungle to start is not only inflict as much as damage as possible with the powerful gank tool and hookshot, but also get as many single target camps off the map as you can before you get that Tiamat, or at least either your Chilling Smite or Skirmisher Server item for the extra talisman AoE clearing. And that's exactly what he did. He ganked mid level 2, got Skull to Crab, as you pointed out, got Skull to Crab on the bot side of the map, took his blue buff, and he's just been basically clearing most of these single target camps, which has been allowing him to keep up somewhat in CS. And we just have the fight here. Charge is going to go down. Lunar Del Rey is going to be able to fight him off with the hook shot. Ignite will actually not cause him to go down, as like you said in the second game before, Triumph is a, oh my gosh, I don't want to.
Disgusting mastery, dude. That is
exactly.
Disgusting. I love that. Just barely living. Even has minions auto attacking him, so kind of in the same situation with the red buff, but Aquatic Dark is not having a fun time. If not one summoner's down, then both are. I mean, the Ignite does have to go down. He does have his flash again. I love this pressure from Lunar Del Rey. Change is obviously going for this Predator build, allows him to get in a little bit closer. We did see this in adaptation from a Freak of Freaks in the LCK. They were taking this Gragas with Predator, and it was, to great effect. It was doing amazing there, and, I think it would still be doing amazing if Lunar Del Rey was not literally doing jungling in circles around Change right now.
Yeah, absolutely right, agree. And then Change is just not doing well once again. We already know, and he's just trying to play for the utility at this point. But they're going to go for a gang onto the bot side of the map. The block shield is going to keep Bronze Gatekeeper alive for one time, and it's actually going to give him enough time. Change, he wants to make something happen, but he's going to get exhausted, and the flash is not going to do anything for him, and Cleaver Master does complete the teleport, whereas Rawr are being muted, canceled his TP. It's going to give him some time to be able to push in this lane, and overall, that is just well damn played to the side of Illumination Empire.
That was a huge misplay by Change. He ends up body slamming into minions, so he still has Predator active, but he's not able to get a lot done. Obviously, that is a good job that they got both sums from both laners down here, but a lot of wasted resources from the side of Rawr. And now look at this, they're waiting for Poppy to come back in the lane. They're waiting for Cleaver Master to show up just so they can double gank. Lunar Del Rey clearing the top side so far of his jungle, knowing that he is bot side. I mean, that was a great job from Illumination Empire to stop that, but a lot of mistakes coming out from Change right now. He is not having the best of times right now. It looks like, ooh, they're going to go for this.
Cleaver Master had a feeling. He popped the Steadfast Presence as soon as he saw you are being muted that far up, but it might not even matter. Unfortunately, you are being muted does not have enough mana for the final dunk onto Cleaver Master, but because he has teleport, or he used teleport already, he's going to have to take the long walk of shame unless he wants to risk getting dove under his own turret. He's calling Change up to the top side of the map, but meanwhile, there's an all-in on the bot lane, and now this could be the redemption story for Bronze Gatekeeper, but he's going to get flashed on by Gandhi Donut, and he's going to turn it around with the Tristana. He's going to get the resets and the double kill coming in for Gandhi, and a moment of hope has now arisen for the side of Rawr.
Yeah, the binding ends up actually landing on a melee minion, so really unfortunate, but Sail's getting the better end of all these trades in mid lane right now. The bear trap on a rope and using jousting alongside violent tendencies to completely blow up this guy's health bar. Oh, nice!
Oh man, the charge coming in from Sail. He's gonna flash in onto Aquatic Dark here, and even if Scarl is popped, he can juggle the turret aggro to Lunar Del Rey, and I mean, there's just no way that Aquatic Dark was getting out of there alive.
Okay, so I really want to applaud Sail there. Those are amazing mechanics on Kled there. He's using the charge because you're unstoppable during that entire duration to avoid, I mean, he goes right through the, he ends up going right through the tornado. He does get hit with it, but since he can't be knocked up during it, he can't use the, Aquatic Dark can't use this last breath. That was an amazing play from him.
This time, looks like Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose are not having the start they were. And they had the huge CS lead, pushing Gandhi Donut and Focus right under tower, but then the all-in was not in their favor, as it looked like there was a misplay between Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose. Like you said, the Dark Binding did not connect onto the priority target they wanted. And without the two sums, Gandhi Donut was able to use his flash and heal aggressively to secure that kill on the Bronze. But now it might just be that we have to, instead of playing through bot lane, you still have CC set up to lock down Gandhi Donut and Focus here with the Chain of Corruptions, with the Soul Shackles, and Dark Binding. You just send Sail down on this Kled with charge, and you lock him down with Hextech Ultimatum. But meanwhile, Aquatic Dark has made a roam onto the top side of the map, and with the knock-up and the Keeper's Verdict, it's going to keep You Are Being Muted in a bad spot, and he's not going to even burn flashes. He knows that he's just not in a good situation. With the Ignite, it's going to seal the kill onto the top laner.
Yeah, this is going to allow Cleaver Master to bounce the wave onto the turret. You Are Being Muted does have TP, although the wave isn't huge. Cleaver Master still doesn't have his. He's going to have to wait to come back top lane. He's also going to back, but this just means that this is an amazing way. I like this wave management from Cleaver. The wave is going to now sit in front of You Are Being Muted's turret. It's going to come to the turret and then eventually bounce back in favor of Cleaver by the time he gets there. So this is a great job from them. A good job for him getting the kill there. A lot of wards.
Ooh, Hookshot doesn't hit, but he still has Hextech Ultimatum, and Aquatic Dark is going to try to block out as much as damage as he can, but like you said before, the wind wall doesn't really do that much against two melee heroes.
Yeah, that was Aquatic Dark is definitely asking, where's my jungler, guys, please? Change? Are you gonna... You might as well just get a Wriggle's Lantern at this point, go back to Next to the Blitz, try and get some of that Feral Flare action. Oh.
And Change is actually going AP Gragas as well with the Runic Echoes, trying to look for more damage, but if he's going for damage, it means he's hella squishy, and you know what that means? He's gonna die under his own turret. But meanwhile, Soul Shackles are going to lock down Gandhi Donut as Bronze Gatekeeper unfortunately fell for the side of Illumination Empire. Gandhi Donut just trying so damn hard to try and put the team literally on his back and carry them through this early game.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if actually a Yordle can carry another Yordle, a big fat man, a skinny weep, and some kind of fish thing. I'm interested to see if that's going to be...
Is Yasuo weak?
I mean, do you see him? I mean, this is literally just Sasuke Thug. Like, this guy's about to hit us up with some Ross and Shurikens type shit, dude. Like, I'm ready. I mean, Aquatic Dark is not having the best of time. It changes. Yikes, dude. Like, he literally zero jungle impact. Gandhi is the only saving grace. I mean, this whole bot lane, I think Focus is doing about as well as you can. He is playing Nami, and, you know, you have to be about as supportive as you can. I like this abuse from Gandhi. He's using the fact that he's a mobile AD carry, this Tristan, who's able to jump in and get onto someone like Varus, who, unless you have Flash, unless you have something like a Black Shield, which isn't going to save you much from an AD carry, it is going to be really rough for him. He is obviously going for the Bork first item, which is what you want to do typically in almost every single matchup, just in case. Gives you sustain and allows you to get really good trades, but... Now I want to see Lunar Del Rey try and shut down Gandhi. Maybe we see him, might see even a lane gank here now.
Yeah, we definitely need to see if Lunar Del Rey actually provides some relief to the side of Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose, because otherwise Gandhi Donut is just going to continue steamrolling this matchup in his favor. He now has a completed Storm Razor and is starting to look very similar to the game he did have on Xayah, and even though Focus is not on a... but the pink ward's going to spot out Sails. So now Gandhi Donut and Focus realize if they want to stay for this, they're going to have to play it carefully. Cleaver Master did roam all the way to the bot side of the map as he changed lanes with Aquatic Dark. And now Cleaver Master will be able to provide some relief and attention. So You Are Being Muted is now the one fighting Aquatic Dark here in the top lane. That should be more advantageous for him as he is much more mobile than a Poppy and can outmaneuver even a phase rush Darius.
Yeah, and I mean, the mid wave, you do see the turret are being taken, so it looks like Aquatic is just going to have to be like, look, honestly, like, this mid lane's already GG go next, but this does open up Sail now. He can use the charge, and it looks like they're just going to go straight for the dragon.
Definitely, when you have an Air Drake on deck, you can get you can claim that, get some more movement speed, look for more macro rotations around the map, and you can start making your way towards other objectives. The Rift Herald is still on the table. Definitely can be something if you cannot just force a dive with the Kled and the Camille here. You can go for that all-in. And well, speaking of all-ins, Aquatic Dark actually just Okay.
I think he wasn't expecting the wind slash to throw him that far back, and obviously you won't have a way to go back in, but it does waste the ignite and the last breath. Oh, focus.
Oh, focus! We talked about the CC lockdown. Changes here is going to try to turn things around, and it's going to force Gandhi Donut to go all in onto Lunar Del Rey, but he ults a minion, and the hookshot is going to give him the stun, but Cleaver Master is there with the teleporter to provide some support, and Gandhi Donut, he's just trying to bounce around Sail. He doesn't have the charge anymore as he used it to get to the bot lane, and Gandhi Donut is still going to stay alive throughout this whole fight, and Cleaver Master is just going to try to keep Sail as long as possible. He wants to get Gandhi Donut one more kill, and the healing coming in as well is going to be able to put Gandhi Donut back in a favorable spot. And I don't think Sail really wants to stay here if Cleaver Master can get in and lock him down with a stun to the wall pairing with that flash.
So I'm more interested in the fact that Sail didn't use the jousting to go right back in onto Gandhi. Obviously did blow flash there alongside Gandhi, but you can use that joust from about, I think it's an infinite range on the second cast, because then you just go straight back on top of them. And you will end up in turret aggro. You can obviously juggle it, but I think that could have possibly been a kill there, but great job from them. They do end up getting the shutdown onto Lunar Del Rey, so that's 675 gold going over to Cleaver Master. That is, some of the CS, some of the gold that is gonna, make up for some of the CS that you are missing now in topside. And I love this already. They, Gandhi stayed in bot lane, and Focus is staying.
Focus all by himself. He's just a Nami. He's just a squishy fish. And he's going to pop the Ignite down on the Sail, trying to... but it's not going to matter. Oh, wait, but Change is here, and he's got damage. He's Runic Echoes Gragas. And Sail with the one more turn damage shot. He's going to be able to bring it down, but he's still alive! How the hell is he alive? And You Are Being Muted is here to provide support as well. Change not being able to close the gap on Sail for the last auto, or even just one more spell would have done the trick.
Yeah, that is... he wasn't in range, couldn't land too much more other than maybe like a smite. That's about as best as he probably could have done, and that probably would have secured the kill there, but maybe just expecting himself to have a little bit more damage. Lunar Del Rey, I mean, right now he's still recognizing that he does have an advantage. He is 5-1 and 3 right now. I mean, he was 4-1 and 3, but with Focus staying there by himself, obviously was there when Gandhi backed, and now they did end up getting this topside turret as well.
And they're also going for the Rift Herald as well. This is going to be huge for them, trying to snowball this game before Gandhi just gets too fed. And the front line from Cleaver Master and Change could be detrimental. Speaking of detrimental, Sail is not in a good spot. Getting hit up with the last breath and the knock-up, and the Keeper's Verdict is going to keep him in place for a while. But Change with the body slam, not going to be able to get in time as he did not have explosive cask. Even with the Predator move speed boost, he could not just get onto Sail.
That is a lot wasted there. That is the last breath being wasted. That is the Keeper's Verdict from Poppy being wasted as well. I mean, you didn't really trade anything from Sail. I mean, other than maybe a couple of gray hairs from almost dying there, but that was really good from Sail. He was able to show composure. Didn't exactly want to start trading, especially when it's 1v3, and they're able to just immediately trade. And you didn't get much anywhere. You kind of just showed 3 people mid. You lose a lot of pressure in your sideways, which for right now, I mean, Gandhi Donut is standing like a stalwart protector to this last turret down in bot lane, this last tier 2 turret. I'm interested to see how they're going to finally try and shut down Gandhi. I mean, Gandhi's 4-0. He's not ahead in CS, but he's definitely ahead in gold right now. He's about 600 gold up. He has shutdown gold sitting on him. He has about 675, the same amount as Lunar Del Rey. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to stop Gandhi. If Gandhi can have amazing positioning, pop off in these team fights, he's going to be a menace. I mean, we see everyone's seen a Tristana who's like, gets ahead early and then is literally untouchable and then jumps forward and like 1v9s the whole game. But I mean, she has some pretty stiff opposition. Just have Lunar Del Rey, who's there to just immediately pop her. We do have the, the ult coming out, from the Chain of Corruption from Bronze Gatekeeper alongside the entirety of Morgana as a CC machine.
Ooh, Aquatic Dark once again gets baited into what looks like a favorable pick for himself onto the 1, 3, and 2 Bronze Gatekeeper Varus. He's going to get picked off by Sale, and just going to be 3 kills so far, and might be another one on the Cleaver Master unless he pops the Keeper's Verdict. He's going to slam him into the wall, buying himself some time, but he doesn't have any reinforcements. Actually, a lot. Gandhi Donut is there to provide a lot of damage along with focus in case they needed to disengage with the tidal wave. Big Breeze, just speaking on the subject of this whole composition with Gandhi Donut, I mean, it is really damn hard to, if you think about trying to lock down this Tristana, and it's just, even though Gandhi Donut is on a quote-unquote late-game hyper carry that needs time to scale, he already has a lead with the Storm Razor, so he's already been in a good spot, but he has the mobility in the rocket jump, and then he has such powerful disengage tools in the explosive shot, being able to punt away Lunar Del Rey, who's using the Hextech to ultimatum to lock him down in place for the rest of the team to follow up, or even Sail trying to charge in on the Kled. And then as long as he just fights with his team, you have Keeper's Verdict to punt people away, you have Explosive Cast to knock people away, Tidal Wave can also disengage and knock out people for the slow, and of course Aquatic Dark, if he can hit a nice Steel Tempest onto diving threats, you can keep Gandhi alive. But I don't know if you can keep Change alive because he's right there. He needs to throw the Explosive Cast, but it's just going to throw him a little closer to him, but does not want to dive the turret.
Yeah, I mean, that is some pretty good prints you have there. Obviously, Gandhi Donut is going to be a large component, if anything, the only component for these team fights for Rawr. My issue is that they are abandoning this top side so heavily. I mean, not a lot of damage. Uh-oh. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, it's all an elaborate ruse! Change thought he finally had a good play to make for the sign of Rawr, but then he baits himself as Lunar Del Rey and Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose come from the wings to assist their top laner in pushing in this turret, and they should be able to, unless Cleaver Master has something to say about it.
Yeah, they are abandoning their side waves. More specifically, their top lane. Cleaver Master has just been grouping constantly, and this just allows you being muted to get a lot of an advantage up here, get a lot of turret damage. And I mean, yeah, I mean, the Gandhi Donut, he can put down a lot of teamfight damage, but you can't exactly teamfight if you're being split up across the map. Everywhere it is bleeding. Your top lane, you know, not necessarily behind in KDA, but definitely down in turrets and definitely in CS. We're seeing almost a 70 CS lead there. Your jungle is, I mean, literally non-existent. Changes, you know, he does do a little bit of damage, but is not able to use that Predator to any good use, and is just basically at this point a Yasuo butler waiting to see, oh yes, here you go sir, here's your knock-up, here's your last breath. And Aquatic Dark is, this is the great thing about team play versus solo queue. If this is solo queue, Yasuo's already GGFF at 15. He's telling his whole team, you know, like, GG no jungle pressure. But in team play, you know, at least in team play, you know, you can't, hopefully you wouldn't be flaming your team, but Aquatic Dark is having the, you know, as we said earlier, Yasuo is either a 9-1 champ or a 1-9 champ. You're never, there is no in between with this champion for some reason. And Sale is absolutely running him.
And speaking of just running people down, Lunar Del Rey finally completing this Trinity Force. This is the quintessential core build for a Camille jungle. This is the pinnacle.
Stopwatch.
And has a stopwatch as well, so we'll be leading into that Guardian's Angel, but also the stopwatch can be quite the showstopper in terms of forcing the engage and then forcing a lot of important cooldowns to go down onto him, and can dodge all of those with a well-timed stopwatch. But this is not the stopwatch we're looking for. This is a game-wide pause, and not sure what is going on.
Gandhi is lagging, and if I'm right now, I'm looking for any excuse to pause the game and be like, Gandhi, you need to have like -1 ping. You need to be seeing the future. Like, he is the only way that they're going to come back in this game. I mean, it is a 5k gold lead, 3 turrets to 0 in favor of Illumination, and I mean, they already have a Windrake and an Infernal, and if I can't actually move my camera, but we are going to get back into game. I'm going to check the dragon that is going to be up. Looks like the pause is going to be going down, but Gandhi is the only way they win these fights. And Cleaver Master himself, I mean, he's not having too bad of a game, but he needs to have a little bit more impact if he's going to leave this lane for as long as he has. Indeed. Now the pause has been... wow, that was quick. It went from 5 to 0 real fast. So it's an ocean drake. Never mind.
Unlucky. Not enough.
I mean the ocean drake can still be good for either of these teams. Obviously, it'll probably be really good for Rawr if they get it, just because it allows them to take some trades. Like Aquatic Dark does want to take a couple trades on the champion, take some trades, back up, heal some more, and you get all your health back. And for
Chain of Corruptions does land onto Poppy as well, but the Keeper's Verdict is going to punt him away, and Lunar Delray might have been gone a little too far forward, but the stopwatch is there to give him some time. The Sail's now going to go into the engage, but they don't have the rest of their team. Meanwhile, European Unit has actually slain Aquatic Dark, so it's still a 4-on-4, and now it's going to be on a 5v4 as he's TPing in to assist the rest of his team. They picked off Cleaver Master, and with Change, Gandhi, and Focus being the only ones left, they want to continue pushing this turret in.
Yeah, Aquatic Dark not having the best game, probably the worst game, but he went down bot lane. Immediately You're being muted, goes down to TP. Gandhi not able to do much. Cleaver getting taken down as well, so that is going to be another turret being taken. And it looks like they're just going to rotate, get this blue buff, and then go mid. That was really close for Lunar. That stopwatch immediately paying off.
Talk about immediate return value. That's the best type of investment you can find right there for a purchase.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Gosh, it doesn't feel like this is only a 5k gold lead. Well, actually, no. That's what I meant to say. It feels, even though it is a 5k gold lead on the side of
that's 7.
Illumination Empire, it's just, now it's 7. It's now 7k gold lead. But the thing is, at any point in time, if Rawr is able to play a team fight cleanly, they're able to deal with the diving threats of Lunar Del Rey and Sail and disengage from the CC, and they give the space to Gandhi Donut to just reset on these fights, he can bring it back. I mean, he's not at his full late game status quite yet, but the Storm Rays and Rapid Fire Cannon can do some work, and he does have the attack speed steroid, so if he chooses his fights correctly and he gets the resets off in the right places in these fights, I mean, there's still a chance for the side of Rawr to bring this back, but it just means that there's even more pressure onto this AD carry for the side of Rawr. And like you said, Aquatic Dark is not doing as well as he was doing in the other 2 games. And Change, I mean, what can be said about Change? I mean, he went Runic Echoes Gragas. He's not dealing nearly enough damage to be able to provide enough burst to pick off anyone. And Poison Rose might be at a back spot here. Wait, what the? Did Poison Rose flash into Change?
Yeah, I think he was trying to get an engage off using the Mortal Coil with the Torn Soul Shackles, but
what the?
This is probably gonna be the first turret here. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I don't think
what's the actual what?
I don't think he was expecting Change to body slam into the bush. Definitely thinking that maybe they would just walk into him, but turns out it was not as good of an engage as he thought it was. And that is gonna be but they're gonna actually trade this for Baron.
Oh man, but Focus is already calling the shots over here. He realizes that, wait guys, they can start the Baron. And You're being muted, even though he doesn't have teleport. He's comfortable just making them try and split up and say, hey, do you want the Baron or do you want to deal with me on the bot side of the map? Redemption's going to be pretty close. The tidal wave is going to come in, but Lunar Del Rey thankfully has the smite for the secure. Aquatic Dark is going to try to steal with You're being muted on the bot side of the map, but he's getting Chong to about half of his health already. He hasn't even procced the Decimate yet. And the bleed, the massive stack coming in. He's going to flash in. He's going to get the ult down. Not the execute, but it's going to still be the done deal. And it's going to allow him to secure this bot chain turret as well.
Yeah, something to note there is that Bronze Gatekeeper flashes, but also throws the Chain of Corruption down, immediately locking down Cleaver Master and the rest of Gandhi. So yeah, You're being muted, doing a great job. Again, pushing these side waves, noticing it, like, hey, I'm not a very good team fighter. If you're playing Darius, you're not looking to really team fight. You're looking to just stick in the side waves, 1v1, get that split push going. But with Baron, I think this is going to be super tough for them. I mean, Lunar Del Rey could just immediately pop turrets using the Sheen passive. Change is definitely not having the best game. Aquatic is really asking to go next, but he can't because obviously this will be the end of the series. And Gandhi Donut, he did pick up a kill. He's 5-0-1. Obviously, he did pick it up onto Poison Rose there, but they're gonna need a miracle. Even with him so fed, it is, unless everybody else dies on his team and he just 1v5s because everyone has just wasted cooldowns. It's looking so rough for Rawr right now.
Yeah, the disengage tools is going to be what we look for in these fights, because we already know how well the side of Illumination Empire can engage onto Gandhi Donut here, but if they can dodge out the charge, if they can use the explosive cast effectively to knock Lunar Del Rey out of the Hextech Ultimatum, if he can use the explosive shot to knock back one of these divers, if you can get a tidal wave to disengage the fight, or even Keeper's Verdict to punt back the backline damage threat so that you can deal with the divers. I mean, any one of these situations can allow Rawr to turn around a bad engage from the side of Illumination Empire. And it's just going to come down to how well they play these out. And they're already respecting the engage potential coming out. The Chain of Corruption is already being burned. That's dumping that engage. So the Cleaver Master gets interrupted on his Keeper's Verdict, and he's going to pop the stopwatch, and that's the front line down. And now it's just up to change, but he's going to get locked down by the Dark Binding. That's a double kill for Bronze Gatekeeper. They're knocking on the doors of the Nexus right now. They're going to look to take down the first inhibitor, and they can take down more if they choose to here, McBree.
Yikes, yeah, that was a really great team fight from the side of Illumination Empire, and I mean, this is what we expect from the first seed. I mean, super great team fighting, and trying to just keep the mistakes down to a minimum, and I mean, change being a really big weak link for this game for a multitude of reasons, and they are gonna just move across the map and just take everything.
They are not going to let this game go to away. They're going to make sure that this game is securely fast, and they don't want any fastballs being thrown at them or any curveballs either. They already have learned their mistakes of playing out a 20-minute game in the very first game of the day, not the official first game, the one that was remade, and then the admins coming in saying, you know what, guys, you have to remake this game. There was miscommunication between the teams, and the appropriate setup was not made. So even though you guys have a massive lead, and you definitely should have won the first game of the series, it was not appropriately set up. So the series was remade, and then Rawr being able to win that first game very decisively off of the back of Gandhi Donut, having a huge performance on the Zaya. It just seemed like this would have been an easy 2-0 sweep from the side of Rawr off of the tilting factor of it was remaking a game that should have gone your way. But then Lunar Del Rey and Bronze Gatekeeper just coming out with huge performances on the Elise and on the Ashe, turning it around and then forcing these picks just to snowball out of their favor for the second game, bringing it to a third game. And now, McBree, we're standing at the doors of the Nexus here. All inhibitors down. Double empowered super minions coming into the base, flooding in. If Rawr are able to win this game, it's going to be a series of miracles.
Yeah, I mean, Gandhi's already, he has a couple of his items. He's about 20 CS up, but he's also 5-0 right now. He's looking to, put up another flawless game here. But the rest of his team is going to have to come up pretty big. These team fights, I mean, you have double super minions in every single lane. You have, I mean, very little wave clear. You're the only one who can really do any damage to these minions, and it is going to take a large miracle and a pretty big misplay from the side of Illumination.
Yeah, and all of that Illumination have to do is just corral these minions in. And Change is going to look for the engage, but the Black Shield is going to be able to protect Bronze Gatekeeper. Tidal Wave also does not really do anything, and the members of Illumination are actually falling down to Gandhi Donut. He's trying to do his best, but Lunar Del Rey, he snipes him out with the hook shot, and we all know what that means, McBree. It means that after a remake, the series, and losing the first game, they bring it back for the reverse sweep, and Illumination Empire will be going to the finals.
Amazing job there. I mean, Gandhi had to make the hero play, jumps in trying to blow up everybody, but cannot exactly do that. But a great performance from Lunar Del Rey. Obviously, the first game was a little bit of a hiccup, but Illumination Empire, I mean, Lunar Del Rey just in general, and the whole team playing around him was an amazing feat to watch.
I am at a loss for words. This is absolutely just what an insane series. It did not fail to deliver. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty upset that we had to restart the series after the first game had been started for 20 minutes. But you know what? I guess mistakes happen and nothing can be always controlled. And hopefully it is just something for the rest of not only us on the production crew, but also for the teams in Overdrive League, as well as the staff, to just try and have integrity about the communication of keeping to the rules, making sure that you're obeying them, and even if the staff aren't there, that you should be, I don't know how to, just the players with integrity. I know I'm repeating that a lot, but just it really comes down to that. Because when you, even if you have a quote unquote advantage and the staff members aren't there to tell you what you're supposed to do, it is better to just play it as it's supposed to be, as the rules standpoint. And because then we can avoid situations like this where the games have to be delayed out, because it's just, this situation could have been avoided if people were being honest about it. But you know what? That is all now in the past. Hopefully we can look to the future and that will be corrected as we go into the finals, and we can avoid that situation for the final best of 5 series. I believe will be next Monday on Overdrive Platinum League, being brought here by EGN. And we're looking at the final stats of the game as well. And McBree, I mean, there's nothing to say. I mean, this is
I mean,
all...
there's the Lunar Del Rey. This guy's
Yeah.
actually insane. Carry junglers, just I mean, I'm really interested to see what happens if maybe he's forced onto something of a, you know, like a tank jungler, more of a supportive role. But for right now, I mean, they're taking a, you know, that Camille, like we thought the Elise was insane, but his Camille, every 2 seconds, mid lane, gank, come back, gank, steal changes jungle, gank. He was all over the map, immediately pushing pressure. And I mean, all 3 of these games, I mean, we saw that. And obviously, the first game was a little bit of a wash, but his jungle prowess is just insane.
And to imagine that this is their 4th E-sub, like, but I don't want to say any disrespect to the starting jungler, whoever he is, but I mean, who needs him? Like, keep this guy. Pay him the fat stacks to keep him in, because he's definitely someone you want to have going into the final matchup next Monday.
Yeah, and now that they've shown proficiency on the Kled mid, this completely opens up their playbook. Just keeping sail on roaming mid laners, and you know, also showing that not only can you are being muted have a strong lane, but also their mid and jungle. I mean, their mid and jungle TV2 is quite insane, especially with Lunar Del Rey. So I'm interested to see how Illumination is going to go, and you know, prove that they are our number 1 seed. Obviously, they'll be going up against DOV Esports, who's actually the 6th seed. They climbed all the way from quarterfinals. They were able to beat BDSM 2-1. They went up against Brainstorm, and they 2-0'd them yesterday. So this team, the first place seed, is going to be going up against the 6th seed. So I mean, at least, I mean, DOV, they're nothing to scoff at right now. So I'm interested to see how this is going to end up for our playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, McBrave, there's nothing else more to say. I believe that is going to be doing it for us here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking with us, as the delay probably was not ideal for most people, as you know, just not part of the schedule. But you know what? We got through it. We had a hell of a series. It really one of my favorite series that I have casted in a long time. And I don't say that often. So this is, I mean, this was really just absolutely, I was on the edge of my seat casting, and I had so much fun casting this game, this series. McBree, had a blast casting with you. So on behalf of myself and McBree and the rest of the Everlife Gaming Network production crew, as well as Overdrive League, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in to watch. Please all have a wonderful night's sleep, get some good rest, and tune in next Monday for the finals. It shall be Illumination Empire taking on, oh my god, the name just blinked from my mind. DOV Esports. So next Monday, guys, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do not miss it. Oh, they cut off Aquatic Dark. They knew exactly where he was going, and the exhaust has to just be forced out. Meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, Bronze Gatekeeper and Poison Rose are trying to get out of here. Poison Rose has the flash, but it's not going to be in time. The last auto connection. Meanwhile, the last breath is going to come in, and they do have Cleaver Master here for the roam, and with the dunk, that's going to be 2 more kills going out to the side of Rawr. And just like that, I'm not sure this is going to be really instrumental, but oh, that's a lot of damage, Soul Shackles, but he popped Lamb's Respite so early. He's actually trying to get Hero's Entrance, but it's not going to come in time as Lamb's Respite has ticked the clock down, but Sail will be able to pick up a double kill as Aquatic Dark is now going to be able to pick up Poison Rose here, and Sail cannot do that much to an 80 carry. That is 5-0 and 3 as he gets the shutdown kill onto Sail. They can turn around, literally no right flashes, but it gets followed by Gandhi Donut's own flash, and Poison Rose is gonna have to scram along with Sail as the rest of the members. Meanwhile, European Mutant actually comes in. He picks up Itchy Rose, or Itchy Rat here, but he's not the carry you need to worry about. He's just a support, and European Mutant finally realizes his own mistake, and he gets shut down, giving the gold over to Aquatic Dark.
And, I mean,
they want to force something here because European Mutant actually just flashes in on Aquatic Dark. Can they get a damage down? And Killer Instinct is just going to go into the backline. 80 carries are basically trading places at this point. They did take down the mid laner, but they already lost the jungler, the bot lane, and the top lane. And Sail is just going to go down. Is this going to be the pentakill? No! Back, Itchy Rat. You're right. It's absolutely great. I mean, you definitely don't want to allow Aquatic Dark to get an optimal backing on that, but he does back away and now backs a little bit later, but it does give Sail some reprieve to be able to... Oh, Lure de Rey is not in a good spot. Change could follow with the flash, but he cannot find him quite yet. But he beats himself as Sail is now going to get the first blood for himself in the mid lane. Last breath, but meanwhile on the top side of the map, they're going for an engage onto Cleaver Master. Tidal Wave is not going to connect onto Vladimir, however. Meanwhile, the camera is just confused as which focus should I go for, and Change is now going to be brought down. Lamb's Respite was not up on time for cooldown. That's 2 kills going out for the side of Illumination Empire, and European Mutants diving between 2 turrets, forcing the Lamb's Respite. Focus is going to get hit by the cocoon, and he steps out of the safety of Lamb's Respite. It didn't matter. He was going to go down anyway. Cleaver Master gets a cheeky kill with the teleport and the Crimson Rush there, and now they're just going for more. CC is down. Sanguine Pool is also down. Lure de Rey. He's going to try to get it out. Repel. He goes on too. Holy shit. This spiring of CC, like you mentioned before in that last fight, Cocoon into Bubble. There's just no chance for Cleaver Master. And now without that damage amplification going in, that could potentially turn the tide of a battle. You don't have that anymore, and they're still waiting. They're just forcing picks. They're forcing the rest of Rawr to face check like monkeys, and they just keep falling for the bait here. McBree now wants to risk getting dove under his own turret. He's calling Change up to the top side of the map, but meanwhile there's an all-in on the bot lane, and now this could be the redemption story for Bronze Gatekeeper, but he's gonna get flashed on by Gandhi Donut, and he's gonna turn it around with the Tristana. He's gonna get the resets and the double kill coming in for Gandhi, and a moment of hope has now arisen for the side. Poppy as well, but the Keeper's Verdict is gonna punt him away, and Lunar de Rey might have gone a little too far forward, but the stopwatch is there to give him some time, and Sail's now gonna go into the engage, but they don't have the rest of their team. Meanwhile, European Unit has actually slain Aquatic Dark, so it's still a 4-on-4, and now it's gonna be on a 5v4 as he's TPing in to assist the rest of his team. They picked off Cleaver Master, and with Change, Gandhi, and Focus being the only ones left, they want to continue pushing this turret in. It's gonna come in, but Lunar Del Rey thankfully has the smite for the secure. Aquatic Dark is gonna try to steal with European Unit on the bot side of the map, but he's getting chonked to about half of his health already. He hasn't even procced the Decimate yet, and the bleed, the massive stacks coming in. He's gonna flash in, he's gonna get the ult down, not the execute, but it's gonna still be the done deal, and it's gonna allow him to secure this bot layer chain turret. Does not really do anything, and the members of Illumination are actually falling down to Gandhi Donut. He's trying to do his best, but Lunar Del Rey, he snipes him out with the hook shot, and we all know what that means, McBree. It means that after a remake, the series, and losing the first game, they bring it back for the reverse sweep, and Illumination Empire will be going to the finals.